cultfiggatv. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Yameen of Revolution, and I got some late breaking news. The revolutionaries can use. It is the beginning of the end for Flea Diddy. It's the beginning for the end of Mr. Flea Diddy. Before we get into this, be sure to wipe your feet. Y'all know that means hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know Cult Figure is live. We got a good one today, y'all. We finna start the day off with this P Diddy information that he has been the judge has hit him for $100 million going to somebody that he allegedly sexually assaulted, some young man that is in prison. Now, I see Gene Deal piece. I see Gene Deal title. He doing a live saying Diddy won't pay. I'm gonna start this off by letting y'all know. Do you know how Suge Knight lost Death Row Records? Suge Knight lost Death Row Records because he did not go to a courtroom where he was being sued for $100 million. I ain't going to that because there's some fake stuff tied up with Harry O. He didn't go. He lost his company. That boy will lose everything he got if he don't start paying that $10 million starting October a month to this guy. This is a plot. That's so crazy. The government don't even give a fuck about this dude. They don't even care about this dude. This is a plot to take everything Diddy got. So I'm just starting off. We're going to get into this. But for Gene Deal, everybody saying Puffy never pay. Obviously, you don't know how Suge lost Death Row Records.
I'm here
the exact same way.
Diddy video. Well, apparently an inmate in Michigan was suing him for the same thing everybody else is suing him for allegedly SAing him and doing it by slipping something in his drink and then taking advantage of him. Well, this inmate sued Diddy and actually won. He won by default.
That's
Diddy
crazy.
Didn't show up for the hearing, so a default.
How they gain lose their house. You see, that's one thing. Always go to court. These judges ain't playing. You, Shalom, you get so arrogant you don't want to come to court by default, you'll lose everything. That's how Suge Knight lost Death Row. He did not want to go to court. Default. He lost his catalog. But sometimes it's illegal stipulation in that and Suge fighting to get it back. But that don't matter. Puffy did not go to court. He want to play so big, so powerful. I won't even go. I didn't do nothing. $100 million, nigga, you didn't go to court. Game said that he did not sexually assault that girl. The judge said, you come here for this verdict. Game did not go to court. $7 million, lose his house. Puffy, they going to get it up at you.
Court judgment went in to the tune of $100 million. They said this is his history, okay? There is this because this man represented himself. So they said for a non-lawyer case.
He represented himself, but it isn't about what he said. This is about the powers that be. It's going at Puffy. They finna strip of everything. And now I see they not finna let that man have no money to defend himself. They not finna let that man have no money to operate and pay out and pay people in the streets to protect him. They finna take every penny he got. They're gonna force his hand to settle with them and give up everything he got. This is devastating.
That means a person representing themselves. This is the largest judgment that has ever come across in history. So I don't understand why Diddy is fighting all of these cases and he wouldn't fight this one. It just simply doesn't make sense. And for him to ignore it and not show up, I'm baffled by it. I'm really shocked, right? So this Michigan inmate wins a $100 million judgment against Sean Diddy Combs for SA. The judgment could be the largest awarded to a non-attorney and a currently incarcerated inmate in history.
And he got to start paying in October. That's next month, October the 1st, $10 million a month. So they waiting on P. Diddy to miss that first payment. Nigga, they going to seize everything he got. They going to seize everything he got. They finna wash him up. If he missed that first payment in October, he finished.
A Michigan inmate known for his long history of challenging the judicial system with civil lawsuits has been awarded a $100 million default judgment against embattled entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The award was issued Monday by Lenore County Circuit Court Judge Anna Marie following a temporary restraining order granted to Derek Lee, Cardello Smith, 51, against Combs in August.
Ask
Combs,
Suge
who has
if
been
it's
the
a
target
myth.
of multiple lawsuits and criminal
Suge seen this same lawsuit, $100 million lawsuit from Harry O. Suge refused to go to court, nigga. They took his company. Ask Suge, nigga, if you can't lose it all by not going to these courtrooms with these lawsuits.
Investigations in 2024 drugged an S.A. Cardello Smith in 1997 at a party in Detroit, according to court records. Cardello Smith, who crossed paths with Combs while Cardello Smith worked as a Detroit area restaurant and hospitality industry employee, is a self-taught student of civil and criminal statutes and is serving an unrelated sentence at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility.
This nigga got washed up by a jailhouse lawyer, a law library shark. $100 million because he say P. Diddy spiked his punch and took his goodies. Oh my goodness.
Cardello Smith goes way back in history with Combs. He recently told Metro Times. Cardello Smith produced prison facility information revealing Combs' name logged into the visitation.
This finna shake the industry up. This finna shake the industry up. And this what Slim Thug, where you at? Why Slim Thug at? I ain't heard from him in a while. He was protecting P. Diddy, saying everybody was lying. Why Slim at? Y'all get into nah, don't do that to Slim on there. All right, I'll let him make it for now. I get back to you, Slim. Jay, you know you scared. All them niggas scared. Ooh, what? We know what y'all did last summer. This happened in 1997. After murder of Tupac and Biggie, he decided to just have a swingers ball. And 1997, P. Diddy, you was on top of the world. Biggie gone. Pac gone. You're getting Suge arrested. Huh? I bet you hate 1997 now, nigga.
Record and shows the founder of Bad Boy Records offered him $2.3 million to dismiss the suit, but Cardello Smith rejected the offer. Now, see, if Diddy actually went to this facility himself, that tells you he's losing friends, because Diddy never does anything himself. He sends people to do it. So this man actually had records showing that Diddy came to visit him, and Diddy offered him $2.3 million to just go about his business. And this man said no. And I guess rightfully so, because he got himself $100 million default.
That's crazy. Diddy came in, man. Hey, man, all right, man. I'm sorry, man. I know I spiked your punch and took your booty while you was dozed off. I got $2 million. This is disgusting, man. If y'all hear this man's story, this man say he was at a swingers ball. It wasn't a swingers ball. He said he was in a room, bunch of women, Diddy, you feel me? They all got naked, and he say he dealing with a woman. Next thing you know, Diddy behind him, feeling him. All these women in here, Diddy had his eyes on this man's ass, nigga, in 1997. 1997. This the P. Diddy all them niggas was looking up to. Then that man say next thing he was like, oh, hey, wait a minute, man. Hey, he moved around and he started talking to the woman again, fucking with her. The next thing he went to get his drink. Then he got woozy. Man said he woke up. Diddy was doing something to a woman. Diddy was, sleeping with the woman. And then Diddy looked at him, and this is on court record. Then Diddy looked at that man and said, I did to you what I'm doing to her. No, it's nothing funny about rape. Let me. I gotta be respectful. It's nothing funny about raping anybody, and that's the court record. The man said Diddy looked him in his eyes romantically and said, "What I'm doing to her, I just did to you." Well, that right there cost him $100 million.
Judgment. So, August 7th, the judge on August 7th was established to prevent Combs from selling assets that could potentially be used to compensate Cardello Smith for possible damages. He is one of a mounting number of recent plaintiffs against Combs alleging violence or SA. In August hearing, Cardello Smith told the court of a common...
For real, bro, that nigga Diddy is a monster. If Diddy spiked that man punch, that man woke up. That's what happened to Meek Mill too. I don't give a fuck what Meek Mill say. Big Diddy took that man, spiked his punch, raped him, then told the man what he did to him, bro. That man wake up. Now we can't. This not allegedly. The courts just awarded that man $100 million. That man said he passed out woke up, looked at Diddy fornicating with a woman, because this is a Christian program. Diddy fornicating with a woman, looked him into his eyes passionately, romantically, and said, what I'm doing to her, I just did to you.
Conversation, which he says he and Combs directly discussed the lawsuit. You know how we get down was Combs' alleged response to Gardella Smith's threat to proceed with the action instead of accepting an out-of-court settlement. Gardella Smith told the judge, he said, I disagree with how you get down. The virtual hearing and excerpts of it in which the judge reads the complaint identifying Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, and Diddy Run the City, among other nicknames, has generated hundreds of thousands of social media views. Some in the comment sections of the videos express doubt about Gardella Smith's claim. A social media user known as Jennifer Wiley 4033 notes that Wiley circulated hotel footage in which Combs is shown kicking and dragging his then girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura. Just remember, they made Cassie look crazy until she produced receipts. Combs issued a social media apology after the footage of the assault was revealed this summer. A default judgment is awarded to a plaintiff when the defendant in a civil suit fails to formally respond to legally filed proceedings. Combs did not appear for the 7/19 virtual hearing, which caused the default. Gardella Smith's judgment could be the largest awarded to a non-attorney and a currently incarcerated inmate in history. Combs is known as a record label founder and producer who launched the careers of legendary recording artists Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and others. Now, I will say this. Do you remember The Game? The Game had someone suing him, a young lady.
1997, this man spiked this man punch and took this man booty, bro. 1990, that shit is, this dude is sick, man. This dude is a sick pervert, bro. He want a person comatose. He's raping, doing all kind of weird nonsense to him. You don't even know that man. So I know Meek Mill know what P Diddy did to him. See, Meek Mill can run around here laughing and rapping, nigga. That nigga gonna watch. This dude watch. That's a car crash waiting to happen. What Diddy did to that man? Did to everybody else? All them people around him. Did he spike the Fabulous? We watched this man come on the Fabulous. Talking about, I want to party. Hey, Fabulous, you need to party with me for my birthday. Fabulous like a sexual assault victim. Go back and watch Fabulous, and then you will know that's disgusting. I feel bad for Fabulous. That's a grown-ass man. That man was like some scared little woman. Like, Diddy, I already partied with you. Diddy say, no. I'm talking about really party. Who in the hell think this man ain't talking about what we talking about? Like, nah, nigga, you know what I'm talking about. Me, you, in the room, pills, liquor, the bed. He talking to Fabulous in front of everybody. That man is a monster.
He was suing him, said that he armed her, and SA'd her, and he did not show up, and it was a default judgment, given to that particular individual as a result of The Game not showing up. This is shocking to me because I did not hear about this lawsuit. As many lawsuits that we heard that Diddy has been involved in, this one I did not hear about. Shocked to see and hear about this. Do you believe it? Do you believe this inmate without a lawyer?
You should have knew they was going to do this. I played the video of the dude. We're going to look at when he was talking to the judge. Diddy tried to sell his houses. This dude blocked Diddy selling his houses. Said, no, he don't need to sell his houses. He's trying to move some money and hire some money. And the judge said, okay, let's stop him. And everybody thought, oh, man, the judge just giving this dude a chance to present his evidence. No, this was a play the whole time. They ain't finna let Diddy. They ain't finna let him sell shit. That's all belong to them. You ain't selling nothing. You're not finna no money to fight this. They finna break him down. They finna break it. They finna break his ass down. And when all that money gone, then everybody really gonna turn on his ass.
Lawyer, without a lawyer, got himself $100 million judgment, $100 million settlement. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I
don't talk about. Yeah, this was their hero though. And remember Mace, I'll never forget that nigga Mace. That nigga wrote, and this was in Mace's song. I was murder, then Diddy named me pretty. Nigga, why the hell did you come into the rap game as Murder Mace? And then, hey, that's sexual assault. You come into the label as Murder Mace, and then Diddy say, nah, man, I see you as pretty. There's something pretty about you. What? Nah, nigga, I'm murder. Nah, nigga, you pretty. Mace said that. I was murder, and Diddy named me pretty. That's fucking sexual harassment, man. These niggas can't hide from this shit. They rapped about it, bro.
Discretion TV.
Thought it was cool to rap about.
Now, yesterday,
I was murder. And can't nobody say I'm lying. This nigga thought it was cool to put. I didn't write that for him. He wrote it. I was murder. Then Diddy named me pretty.
Diddy lost $100 million judgment against him, against this inmate that we did a topic on him last month. We covered this topic that he claimed that Diddy drugged him and then took advantage of him. But here's the kicker. There was another inmate that said he had sex with Cassie. Remember, Cassie filed the lawsuit and said that Puff had, I would guess, male sex workers.
When? Now I want to know, when does this nigga have time to come up with one more chance and all these remixes? Because I got to give him man his credit. He remixed a lot of shit. When does this nigga have time? This is the hardest working pervert ever. This nigga is everywhere at once. God damn, Diddy.
The sex with her. Drop comments below.
Sean Combs, also known as Sean, also known as Puff P Daddy, Bad Boy, Diddy Run the City, right, Sean Combs, also known as Sean Puffy.
This is the dude, right,
and this is file number 20.
Look at this dude. Now look at this dude. You sit there about Bozo the Clown. Diddy is Diddy. You Diddy, give us a break. You fucking weirdo. Why the hell did you spike this man punch? And then when he woke up, you told him you had what you had done to him in 1997. I'll be damned. That's crazy.
24-7362 and that's what grab paperwork here real quick out of this other paperwork. We do have Mr. Cardello Smith appearing from the Michigan Department of Corrections. Sir, where are you currently located?
I'm located at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility, 2500 South Sheridan Drive, Muskegon, Michigan, 49444, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Or your honor.
Thank you. So I do see that we do have a proof of service on Mr. Combs, but for purposes of this hearing, you filed a motion for a temporary restraining order and or a preliminary injunction to stop all sales of the property and assets attached to or involved with said property based on the interest of plaintiff and plaintiff's connections to defendant's sexual.
I played this about 2 weeks ago. I thought this was some BS. I thought they was human the guy. At the most, human him. Diddy was trying to sell his houses. That was all over TMZ. This dude said, oh, no, stop him. He need to pay me. He all-worded me. He took my stuff. That's what he said. The judge said, okay, cool. It seems like it's something here. And Diddy didn't come to court. All he had to do was bring his high-powered lawyers to court and fight it. This nigga is so egotistical, he refused to come to court to fight a rape charge against the man. That's what it was. That's what it was. It's because it's a man, he want to pretend like it never happened. He do not want this, but it's here. Nigga, they just gave this man $100 million. You might as well have came to court and took questions about that night. He tried to avoid questions about that night with this man, and they just hit his ass for $100 million.
Assault of plaintiff Derek Lee Cardello Smith requiring a preliminary injunction and or a temporary restraining order.
Huh.
Do you wish to argue the motion today, sir?
Yes, sure.
I'll tell you this right now, Maze. What the clown name was you talking about? Fabulous. They might as well come on, Meek Mill. Meek Mill, come on now. You might get $250,000 what he did to you, Meek. Don't worry about you. We don't think you know. We don't take you serious, Meek. Please don't blow your opportunity, Meek. You might get $500 million for what he did to you, Meek. Come on out and just tell the truth. Meek, look at this weirdo just got $100 million from Puff. Boy, you might get the house, the car, all this jewelry. You owe his clothes, nigga. Come on out, Meek. The rest of you niggas that he done this to. That nigga gave his widow $100 million. What y'all worked?
Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed then.
Okay, the purpose of it is based on 2 actions taken by Mr. Combs himself, directly with me here. We did a live one-on-one visit in our prison visiting room.
All of the niggas need to come back.
There's 2 meetings within the past 2 weeks with Mr. Combs on one meeting, and then a financial advisor on the other meeting on Mr. Combs' behalf. And he stated that he would make me an offer to end the case and what happened to me because of other things that he stated he has going on in his life that require his money right now, and he wants to sell everything off. And he made me a financial offer of $2.3 million to allow what happened to me to go away. And he stated that he's going to be selling his property. And under the 2005 California Civil Code 2881-2885, the creation of liens.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm shocked, y'all.
Which allows out-of-state justices and orders to cause a stop of any title transfer, property transfers in Los Angeles or any other place that he has property. He stated that he wouldn't be able to proceed with that sale. And he did it the day after I served him the suit. And he also said that he won't be filing an answer to the complaint. He said, you can find me in default or whatever. He has a better chance with default than he would with having a restraining order stopped. And I said, so you want to hide you want to hide your money and stop from being quite possibly paid to me if I'm given the benefit of a judgment in my favor for what you've done to me. And he pretty much said, yeah. He says, you know how we get down. And I said, okay, well, I disagree with how you get down. Your sale shouldn't go through.
So I'm gonna hold on.
I'm sorry.
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Cadello Smith. Okay, so you went in a different direction than I thought you were going into. I thought we were just going to focus. No.
We are.
You kind of went off on a different direction than what your actual motion was.
Yeah.
So what I just want to say is settlement negotiations.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
In this case, are probably better not. Yeah, they're not to be placed on the record today. Okay.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. You're not an attorney. I understand that. So if we can just backtrack and focus just on your motion.
Ma'am. I get what you want.
Okay, thank you.
If he's allowed to sell his property that he has in LA and the properties that are in his name being used and held by other people in Michigan, then it will cause me harm because I can be tied directly to those properties through loans and through other areas of investment that I did when I was out there and while in prison through money that I've sent. And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or a restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid his responsibility in these matters here. That's what a temporary restraining order would do. It would prevent that from happening. Because it's a very serious matter. It involves a lot of money.
Should have took this serious.
And
he didn't.
And him selling this would help him avoid his liability for these actions done upon me. And I was just hoping that I'd be able to get the restraining order to prevent that. There won't be any harm to him, any of the parties. There won't be any harm to him in any way. And if it's deemed that it's not justified, then he can go ahead and go through with the sale at the end of the case. But one has to be put in place to stop this from happening.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. So I received your complaint and all the attachments to it. And then I received this motion. And I just wanted to take a moment to review back through the U.S. District Civil Docket and your complaint. So I did do that. That's all. And
Yes.
okay. Anything else?
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in. Every bit of it, every facet.
But
okay.
But he,
all right. Well,
but he finished though, because it's several female, it's other males that are escorts. They came out and they got their evidence, and he going to court. He sent his lawyers to court to fight those. This one he didn't go to court. $100 million. You're finished. You're washed up. Okay. He will have no money to fight no cases. This is the end of that dude, bro. They know what they're doing, and this is a warning to those rich elite Negroes that they got a way to deal with all of your paper. You see, niggas like Diddy and Jay-Z actually thought they was gonna be on a fair fight with the white man. Oh no, you're punching the regular people like us. They throw little blows we can't handle. They throwing $100 million blows at billionaires. Nigga, please, they washing them up.
A proof of service showing that Mr. Combs was served on July 6th of 2000 and let me see, is that 24?
Yes,
Yep. Obviously, you'll be able to file that before a pretrial date anyway. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so the order was granted.
His ego wouldn't allow him to come to court.
Your ex parte motion was granted, or your motion for a temporary restraining order was granted. I've signed it. And so we'll get that processed and back to you, and then you'll have to obviously serve that on the parties.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Can your order say any, Your Honor, can you add on your order any Michigan representatives of him acting on his behalf?
This Michigan him getting sentenced. Like, this is real pressure because he needs that $100 million. And like I said, Big Gene, I saw his title on his live he doing saying Diddy will never pay. Gene, are you out of your damn mind, bro? Don't you know how Suge lost death row and how the game lost his house? You don't go to these courts and they issue these verdicts. They season shit, bro. This ain't no game. Y'all been out bad advice to black people. Like, these people now playing when they issuing these verdicts. Like, they just wasting their paper playing games with y'all. That's not true.
Properties as well as part of that order, or does your order cover everything?
You provided the order, so I'm going off the order.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I'm going off the order you provided to me, and I've signed that order already.
That's what I needed. Thank you. All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Cardello Smith, and we'll make sure the writ's done, and we'll see you back in September. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless. All right.
Thank you.
But now listen to what Adi says. Again, before this lawsuit was ever filed, before any of these details that she alleged were made public, listen to what he said.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters.
This dude right here said he slept with Rick Ross and DJ Khaled too. This dude right here, a male prostitute, who some of his stuff is aligning with cases, saying he also slept with Rick Ross and DJ Khaled at P Diddy's orgies.
And I heard a lot of business, because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay?
Hey, this nigga Diddy stupid, bro. Diddy, see, you think even drugs alter the mind of people who would normally be smart and intelligent. Once you get to taking those high-powered uppers and stuff, you lose your sense of understanding what you're doing. Diddy is at a freak off. This man is a sex slave, like I said, a male prostitute there for him, Khaled, Rick Ross, and people like Cuba Gooding Jr. They got him there for them, or women or whatever. Diddy on the phone like a billionaire CEO talking business. And this dude listening. This man also told the feds they were shipping drugs, and now you have the Sinaloa cartel coming out saying Diddy tried to order. Remember we played a video there? Diddy tried to order some underage children from the Sinaloa, and they say, hey, man, we're not into that. That's in court documents. But Diddy on the phone talking high-power shit around these prostitutes.
I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back, and I seen for the herpes and won. But
Diddy might come up with y'all. That's real talk.
Mark Garibos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay?
We might not even see Diddy.
And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible, I threw everything out, it's possible I can produce a copy.
All right. Now, so we got that down. They going after his accounts. They going to make sure. And like I say, they just gifted that man $100 million. They don't give a fuck about that man. They liable to sue that man later and take that back from him. They just want to make sure that Diddy cannot fight these charges. Remember, they just issued some subpoenas into sex trafficking allegations about Mr. Flea Diddy. And that's who he finna be in a minute again, because he finna flee. I don't believe he ready to go to jail. I don't believe that.
A federal grand jury issues a subpoena in the Sean Diddy Combs grand jury investigation, according to a new report. What does it mean for the federal investigation into the rap mogul? Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. For months, there's been a lot of smoke, but maybe not as much fire when it comes to talk about Sean Combs, the feds, a grand jury, sex trafficking, and possible federal charges. Grand juries, of course, are secret, and their work just isn't supposed to be out in the public, but often there are leaks, and that's happened at times in this case. I'll get to the latest leak, this one involving a hotel in Miami and one of Combs's exes in just a bit. The Department of Homeland Security raided Combs's homes in California and Florida back in March. That, of course, made international news. Before that, women and even one man filed a flurry of civil lawsuits against Combs, claiming Combs trafficked them, and those lawsuits have continued even after the raid. The first of those lawsuits came from Cassie Ventura.
Come back for T.I. T.I. got these same allegations. And they keep on threatening him, then letting them go. T.I. might be lending some information on P Diddy, because that's who taught T.I. This nigga, he taught Jay-Z. I keep telling people, this nigga got Jay-Z and Beyonce on tape, man. He absolutely do. You got to remember, before Jay-Z was able to live that life, he wanted to be like Puffy. Puffy was the big fish. And Puffy started recording videos and microphone in the whole house way before Jay-Z got rich. All them niggas, everybody in the industry, that's how Nelly got caught up. All them dudes, that's how he got. They said he got politicians, athletes, actors, everybody in the game. Remember P. Diddy's legendary parties, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, all these niggas getting that money went party with Puffy. Puffy got all they motherfucking ass, nigga.
Ventura nearly a year ago. She dated Combs for years. Cassie's claims were explosive and included claims that Combs forced Ventura to engage in sex acts with other people for Combs's own gratification, and that he also physically assaulted her for years. But Combs settled that suit the next day. That's practically unheard of. Now, while he may have settled the claims for an undisclosed amount of money the next day, he denied, Combs did, that he had ever harmed Cassie. But then in May of this year, CNN published a terrifying and horrific video of Combs chasing Ventura down a hotel hallway wearing only a towel. He could be seen throwing Ventura to the ground and kicking her, and he could no longer deny that he had abused her.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Combs later wiped his Instagram clean, including that apology video, and he started posting again just recently. Last week, Combs filed a motion to dismiss another lawsuit filed by...
the video yesterday of this nigga in New York taking a video with G-Dep. Salute to G-Dep being home after all these years where he did time for admitting that he had killed a man. Hey, you do what you got to do to clear your conscience. People laughed at him. I don't laugh at a man. He wanted to clear his conscience. He know he did wrong, murdered an innocent person. But why is Diddy showing up? You see, that's very fishy to me. What do G-Dep know? You think Diddy just showing up to G-Dep? Hey, all right, nah, man. You trying to pay G-Dep off so he don't talk about some of what he knew. Diddy think he's slick. That's why all them niggas don't take no money, cash. Now I take Puffy bitch ass straight to court, nigga. If strangers getting $100 million, nigga, all them people, whoever been up on that nigga, need to go ahead and wash him up, nigga.
record producer Rodney Little Rock.
You don't know these internet people. You know, you don't never know nobody. It's Mick Mill better listen up. The hell with it. Unplug your phone, get off the internet, and sue that nigga out for $250 million. Nigga,
Jones. He claimed that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted him and forced him to hire sex workers and to participate in sex acts with those sex workers. Combs denies those allegations. His lawyer wrote, Mr. Jones's lawsuit is pure fiction, a shameless attempt to create media hype and extract a quick settlement. There was no RICO conspiracy, and Mr. Jones was not threatened, groomed, assaulted, or trafficked.
That's a lot.
We look forward.
The same thing that Mr. Jones saying is what the dude just got $100 million for. Mr. Jones said he woke up P Diddy in the bed, women in the bed, and P Diddy looking at him. He done the same thing to him. But he just not telling you, P. Diddy took his goodies. He said, I was sexually assaulted, man. He trying to tell Puffy, I come out with more. You know what you did to me when I passed out?
Forward to proving in a court of law that all of Mr. Jones's claims are made up and must be dismissed. Now, the suit filed by Little Rod is just one of nearly a dozen filed against Combs. Adult film actress Adria English filed a suit in July, on the same day that NBC News reported the grand jury was meeting to discuss evidence against Combs. I spoke with English's lawyer, Ariel Mitchell-Kidd.
So in the lawsuit, we pretty much spell out the details of the sex trafficking my client faced at the hands of Mr. Combs at his white parties. So she was essentially
I told y'all, the sex trafficking part, that ain't nothing to prove, nigga, the Mann Act, bro. These dumb rappers, it's so stupid. They rapped about it, they sung about it, about flying women out to party, sex, booze, drugs, and paying them money to leave. That's illegal. You cannot pay a woman, if you're listening, you cannot pay a woman to come to where you at to have sex with you. Give her any money to leave. Remember, they used to think that was cool. I'm just paying the inconvenience fee. Get on up out of here. That's illegal, you dumb sex trafficker. You just trafficked that woman. That's the Mann Act. You can't do that. And all of these dudes been doing that for so long. Now, all of these women who P. Diddy and them done like that, they coming forward. So hold on, did he fly you out here for sex? Yes, and he told me to have sex with other people. And then he gave you money and told you to leave? Yes, guilty.
After, due to her relationship with her boyfriend who was interviewing, or I should say auditioning with Mr. Combs for his Sean John campaign. That's essentially how things came about. And initially she was just approached to be a go-go dancer. It was all very above board initially. And then eventually, with more time, it turned into being sex trafficked. She was sex trafficked in New York in the Hamptons and then in Miami. And these were all during Mr. Combs's white parties that he was throwing. So we essentially outlined the details of that sex trafficking in her lawsuit. And the reason she came forward now, as you know, a lot of people used to be terrified of Mr. Combs. He's blackballed several people, including my client and her then boyfriend, Mr. Gallo, from the industry. So as we all know, there's strength with numbers. So once Ms. Ventura came forward, my client had been looking for an attorney for some time prior to finding me to also file a lawsuit because she had been a victim as well.
Now TMZ is reporting that the grand jury has subpoenaed a hotel in Miami for records dating back to January 1st of 2008, and that one of Combs's exes, Daphne Joy, is also named in those documents. TMZ reports the subpoena was asking for check-in and check-out dates, room numbers.
He thought, that's why he another disgusting punk. He thought, he teaching 50 a lesson by getting his baby mama, offering her all this money to be sex trafficked. You can't be a willing participant in sex trafficking. The U.S. government don't allow that. You can't be a willing participant. That's his business. So that's why she getting subpoena right now. And once she admit to she was sex trafficking, and then they gonna want to know, well, was you a mule? Did you ever bring drugs and all that? Anyway, but hooking 50 on was the worst thing. One of the worst things he could ever did, because 50 played a hand in his motherfucking demise. He didn't know it. He thought he was being cute. 50 knew it the whole goddamn time, nigga. That's why he was helping. That's why anything Puffy wanted to do is liquor and anything, he was getting in on that. Trying to destroy that nigga.
Guest preferences and requests, billing information, email addresses, phone numbers, and forms of payment. So basically, everything you could think of that a hotel might have on file, the grand jury wants to see. Little Rod had also named Daphne Joy as someone Combs had paid to perform sex work in his lawsuit. Daphne Joy vehemently denied that allegation in an Instagram post, which has since been deleted. I reached out to Combs Global about this report, about the hotel in Miami, and the subpoena. So far, I haven't heard back. I want to take just a moment to tell you about a great lip plumper and sponsor of Crime Fix. It's called City Lips. This is not a painful lip plumper that stings and burns. City Lip and Daphne Joy. So why is Daphne Joy being brought into this? We know she dated him at one point in time.
So my suspicion is that she probably is making some kind of allegations, and or they're having her appear before the grand jury, or she already appeared before the grand jury and they're now subpoenaing records to back up whatever she said before the grand jury. So there's a kind of a couple different ways to go about it. Sometimes prosecutors will take testimony from a witness, and
I know one thing. Once the feds is asking her questions, she better not perjure herself. I know that much. They're not playing with her. They're going after this clown. Once they're going to ask her, okay, you dated him. Oh, okay, so he didn't pay you to have sex with other people. And once they look her in the eyes and they got the papers in their hands and they're looking down the papers and saying, so you didn't have sex with other men at the behest of Mr. Combs? And she say, no. Oh, yes, it's going down. You know, Lil' Kim did 2 years for lying. You know, Lil' Kim did 2 years for perjury in federal court. You can't perjure yourself in no shit like this. And once she admit, okay, yes, he gave me money and I slept with a few people, but, you know, we were freaks. You were sex trafficked, man.
That testimony would then be corroborated later on from another witness with paperwork or with receipts, or they interview that individual. She says or he says, hey, I was here on this date. This is what I did on this date. Then they subpoena that information. So when they put that individual in front of the grand jury, they then have the receipts to back up what that person is saying. So they could say, hey, we had dinner at, this restaurant on this date. And then the prosecutor would say, okay, is this what you had to eat? And show the receipt. Yes. Is that the receipt? Yes. Is that why you remember it? Yes. So those type of things are usually why they subpoena that information.
That's interesting you bring that up, because Daphne Joy had put out something on Instagram a while back denying things that Little Rod said in his lawsuit, that claiming that she was being paid by Sean Combs.
She go on Instagram or go on the outside and say whatever the fuck she want. She can't tell it to the federal grand jury.
To do sex work, and then all of a sudden that Instagram post disappears. So it kind of makes sense, possibly, if she was brought in front of the grand jury, that she might delete that from her Instagram post or her Instagram page. Do you think that's part of the reason why she deleted that? And I guess 50 Cent, who is her, the father of her child, was kind of giving her some grief, saying things about her being a sex worker and things of that nature. We don't know if that's actually true, but it would make sense that she would delete that after denying it if she were brought in front of the grand jury.
So even though that's a simple thing, there's a lot to unpack there. So number one, someone makes a statement that says, hey, that never happened. Obviously, defense attorneys jump on that right away. So that statement is forever out there, in cyber world. And the defense attorney will have that in case there is a trial, in case there is some sort of motion that's going to be had. So that's the first part of that. The second part of that is, yes, if she was called in front of the grand jury and she gave testimony that's different than what she was posting, I would imagine she'd take those posts down, because it would be kind of idiotic to keep that post up after she already testified in front of a grand jury. Number two is, it could be that she was then subpoenaed after she made that statement, and just the subpoena alone was enough to scare her to take that down. Mm-hmm. Or number three, and this could be likely as well, she had a conversation with the prosecutor who's in charge of the case, and that prosecutor, after speaking with her, said, hey, listen, you probably want to take down anything that you have up that contradicts what you just told me, because that doesn't make any sense. So it could be a couple different reasons why she took it, or it could just be 50 Cent said, hey, get that down. There's a bunch of different reasons. More likely than not, it has something to do with the case and the grand jury.
Well, there's no love lost, we know, between 50 Cent and Sean Combs. I feel like we've been talking about this, about is he going to be indicted for months because we have. His house was raided, or his homes, I should say, were raided back in March. So this has been going on forever and ever and ever that we've been discussing this. So, I know you were saying you thought it might happen in the summer possibly, and now maybe in September. We are in September now, in the very beginning of September. So obviously the grand jury is meeting. I mean, his own counsel has acknowledged that. So when are we going to possibly see some movement? We know these things can be painstaking and take a long time, especially if they are building a rather large case.
Yeah. So when I first heard about it, when I first heard about the raids, when I first heard about kind of what was going on, my feeling was this should be about 3 to 4 months of a grand jury meeting, and then they'll probably come up with an indictment. What I think has happened since is that investigation has unfolded to the point where I think they're going to include a lot of alleged criminal conduct that's not just having to do with the allegations of sex trafficking and things of that nature. And that is what makes it more difficult, and more evidence and more things that they have to get in order to get those indictments. So now that I'm looking at it, I don't think 6 to 8 months is obnoxious in terms of a grand jury meeting if you're covering a period of anywhere from 10 to 13 years, which I think that's what the indictment is going to cover. I think they're going to allege an ongoing, I don't know if they're going to do a RICO, but I think it's going to look very similar to a RICO, where they're going to allege ongoing criminal conduct that includes, behavior that he's been accused of.
If they hit him with the RICO, the ongoing criminal behavior, they're going to freeze all his bank accounts, because they're going to say they have to painstakingly go through them to see what money was made during this RICO, during this criminal conspiracy, what money could have been laundered through this criminal conspiracy. Come on, they're not finna play with him. I've said that as soon as they start fucking with him. This was all a ploy to take everything, seize everything. And RICO going to be just the last finishing touches on it to shut his bank accounts down. He ain't better fight no case.
Accused of before, in terms of there were shootings and a car got bombed and all these other things that were allegations against him. I think they are now going to include all of that. And I think that it's going to be a very large indictment. I think you're looking at a 50 to 60 page indictment at a bare minimum. And I think you're looking at multiple counts over a long period of time, or you're looking at 4 or 5 counts, but they're going to include stuff over a long period of time. And I think that's what's taking the grand jury so long. I don't see him just walking away from this grand jury with no charges whatsoever. And we spoke a little bit off camera, is because my belief is when the government puts in the kind of time they're putting in, I don't believe that they ever let someone just walk away from that indictment. I've just never seen that happen before. If you have a grand jury meeting for 4, 5, 6 months and the type of information that they're gathering, I don't see him walking away from this with no charges.
Well, we know it's been at least possibly since July. That's when the first confirmation of it came out. So
Right.
Possibly before that, June, the beginning of July is when we got confirmation sort of about it. So it's been a long process, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Sean Combs's lawyer, basically, that his lawyers have said he's never trafficked anyone. So we'll see what happens. Bradford, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I mean,
Jack Johnson said that too. Jack Johnson said, "Man, I didn't traffic these women. These women want to, sell their goodies so that we can have some money to get gas and, eat and survive." They said, "Oh, no, that's the man act. You can't go across state lines, and have women have sex for money."
Jabs sent by 50, like one image of On the 16th of November 2023, a bombshell was dropped on the entertainment industry. Singer Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit under the New York Adult Survivors Act against Sean P. Diddy Combs, her ex-spouse. The lawsuit included multiple accusations against Diddy of sex trafficking, sexual abuse, even worse. Reports of these allegations began making headlines internationally and caused a wildfire online. Throughout November, it only got worse. What followed was a slew of other horrendous allegations and lawsuits, all against P. Diddy. And in the midst of all of these lawsuits, Diddy had become public enemy number one. To this day, Diddy is still being publicly shamed and has essentially become a meme, giving birth to the hilarious nickname, the Diddler, and birthing the newest slang for when you do something sus in hip-hop, no Diddy. While for some, Diddy's become hip-hop's number one villain, but over the years, he's made so many enemies, and ultimately, many people were simply delighted to hear of the news of his downfall. One of these people is known to be a hip-hop villain for perhaps less dark reasons. That person is 50 Cent, one of hip-hop's biggest trolls. He took Diddy's downfall as prime time to dish out all of his impending hate against his longtime music industry nemesis. Even months before the allegations came to light, 50 would often take to Instagram to throw jabs at the Diddler, such as posting the infamous Lil Baby picture from Michael Rubin's annual White Party, where 50 Cent vowed to never attend a party where Diddy is attending. But after November 2023, following the raids at several of Diddy's homes, 50 showed no mercy online and turned his aim much more specifically towards Diddy. Like in this post showing a scene from American Gangster with a caption saying, "When them boys show up at Puffy crib again, he gonna be like, let me tell you about all them people on them tapes, LOL." Now, before I get any further into the story of Diddy versus 50, I just want to leave a quick disclaimer. Okay, this story will have some pretty dark themes as part of it, mainly relating to some of the twisted things that Diddy's been up to. But this video has been censored in order to comply with all of YouTube's community guidelines. So no swearing is going to appear in this video, no violence. There's not really anything violent in this video, but I'm just letting you know that there are going to be some pretty heavy themes going on throughout this video. But the video has been censored, and if you want to see an uncut version of this video with all the swearing and other things that I just didn't want to put in this version of the video, and I do this for all of my videos, head on over to patreon.com/traplawross and you can go and watch it there, just for $2. Thanks. 50 would even share clips of Diddy's neighbors making heinous claims of multiple buses filled with minors regularly entering his residence. Or even 50 essentially calling Diddy the new R. Kelly, whilst teasing a full, high-budget documentary that he was producing all about Diddy's allegations, similar to Surviving R. Kelly. 50's been trolling Diddy to such an extent that it's made its own headlines on prominent news outlets like CNN. But this isn't just 50 trying to hijack a popular news story of the times. The truth is, Diddy and 50 have a deep and dark history spanning decades, going all the way back to a time when they were friends coming up in New York's cutthroat hip-hop scene, eventually teaming up against shared ops, in the end becoming frenemies, and finally full-blown enemies, with 50 Cent in 2024 ultimately becoming P. Diddy's worst nightmare. So today, let's look into the history of this beef that goes back decades and uncover why 50 Cent hates Diddy so much that he waited 20 years for this downfall.
Yo, MTV Raps, and we up in the house that these bad boys built, you know what I'm saying? No Puffy and crew. So Puffy.
This is my crew than me.
This is family.
Artists always first, baby.
Puffy, take it away.
Check it out. This is my man, the Notorious B.I.G.
What's the deal? What's going on?
The show you're about to see is a conversation with producer, performer, and all-around record mogul Puffy Combs. It was recorded last March, just after the murder of Puffy's friend and protege Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G.
See, I'm crazy. I be thinking, yep. I was crazy enough to believe what the fuck I was saying gonna happen was gonna happen. And that's why I was persistent enough to exist now.
He's saying right here, Queen.
Coming at you outside. You know, on the street, and I am on wax. So if you see me in New York, you should be making my stacks.
And the award for best rap video goes to, come on, Playboy, 50 Cent.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? He's not an artist.
He's out.
Yeah, but he's not an artist. See, an artist would be someone who actually wrote something.
He's like, I had 50 and Puff at the same table? Mm-hmm. He said, it was the most awkward shit ever, and that you was instigating.
Puff was like, why don't we go shopping or something? I mean, I paid for it. And I was like, what the f this just say?
Was somewhat a deal that you guys tried to make happen. What went wrong with that deal?
You know why it didn't go through. Diddy didn't let it go through.
So y'all have heard about the world famous party. Many have asked, but few are chosen.
Want everybody to survive this.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking for you. I tell you, get your hand out of my pocket, man. Get your hand out of my pocket. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing on the channel. Get your hand out of my pocket, man.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. When I want to work with Diddy, I'm going to physically put my hands on somebody for the ratings because he's not going to outdo me.
Ciroc Vodka is entering into a groundbreaking strategic alliance with Sean Combs.
Would you rather drink potatoes or grapes? I'm a king.
Kings drink grapes, peasants drink potatoes. I made the clothes that you would get dressed in, the fragrance you would put on, and listen to the music that I produced, to buy the vodka that was in the club.
Some people might think that's a form of megalomania.
Oh, it could be.
Sometimes I like pop.
Sometimes you like them, sometimes you don't.
No. 50 Cent sent a case of effing up here for Diddy. Now, be clear, Diddy did send 50 a whole lifetime supply of Ciroc for his birthday as well. So you guys have a hopefully friendly back and forth.
He's drinking this puffy juice, man. Get out of here. Hopefully he appreciates me opening up the doors for him continuously.
That's how I feel about your boys. I told you can't trust him. Now, Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
He said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes.
50 Cent has thrown a few insults your way recently. Have you talked to him about this, and why do you think he's throwing insults at you?
I mean, you know, some insecurities.
That's why I'll be going to the puffy parties. Later you gonna find out a little shit I be saying, man. You understand what I'm saying? Man, listen, I'm trying to tell you the truth. But the truth, sometimes it hurts.
Before we go any further, guys, I just want to ask a quick favor of you, okay? As you know, I make very long, very detailed videos, and I'll be honest with you, recently we've been having a bit of a problem with reviewing the videos. It takes hours to review the videos and look for mistakes. Wasted, okay? It's very difficult. I think when I made the 6-hour Young Streets of Harlem, New York in the 1970s, as he would explain to DJ Vlad in a throwback interview.
I'm a Harlem boy, no disrespect to anybody. That's where my mom is from. That's where my father's from. That's where my father died at. That's where I was born. That's what I represent. That's my swag. That's my tenacity. I just love being from there. That's where my soul comes from. That hustler mentality has a lot to do with why I am.
After the loss of his father Melvin at the age of 2, Sean and his family moved into the suburbs of Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is a city in Westchester County, New York, in the United States. It's an inner suburb of New York City, immediately to the north of the borough of the Bronx. And Sean credited Mount Vernon for broadening his horizons and introducing him to new cultures and opportunities. In comparison to Harlem, it was a completely different world. Sean attended an all-boys private Montessori school, Mount St. Michael Academy, and he spent the rest of his adolescence in Mount Vernon and took a liking to the performance arts. It was reported that in his teenage years, Sean actually danced in several music videos for big artists like Diana Ross, which would explain his numerous music video antics later on in his career. After high school, he went to Howard University in DC to pursue a business degree, and it was during college that Diddy began gaining a reputation for throwing huge parties. These parties were becoming a key part of Sean's personality, and it was really what made him so popular. Sean and DJ Derek Angeletti became very close after this and began throwing multiple parties every single month. Celebrities even began attending the events, and Sean took advantage of his chance to spread his name, engraving his name and nickname Puff on his business cards. According to the DJ, one party at the Masonic Temple had over 1,500 people in attendance. In 1989, after freshman year in college, he met up with his childhood friend Dwight Myers, aka Heavy D. He was like his mentor through childhood, and he was a known rapper in the scene. And that same year, 1989, Heavy would sign to the record label Uptown Records in New York City. Over summer 1989, Sean went back to New York City and linked up with Heavy D, who later introed Sean to the label owner Andre Harrell, a flamboyant black record executive who famously coined the term ghetto fabulous. The two would allegedly become very close, and that same summer, Diddy was hired as an intern for the label, all still while just being a freshman in college. He must have been doing an impeccable job, and he was swiftly promoted to an A&R executive. At just age 20, Sean was already achieving massive success in the music industry. No one really knew how. By autumn 1992, after the signing of his latest label talent, the Notorious B.I.G., the debut album Ready to Die was due for release, but Uptown's parent company was apparently refusing to release it, saying that the lyrics were far too vulgar. Both Diddy and Biggie were upset and voiced their frustrations, leading Diddy to be fired from Uptown in late 1992. This led Diddy to move into the next year, forming his own record label, the now infamous Bad Boy Entertainment. Diddy had begun building a very impressive lineup at Bad Boy, and in September 1994, the label finally released Biggie's Ready to Die. Ready to Die resonated with hip-hop fans instantly, and is considered to be one of the great classic rap albums in history, even scoring perfect reviews by some of music's most respected media outlets. Bad Boy continued their massive success throughout the 90s, becoming one of the biggest labels in rap, curating a vast catalogue of hits and respected albums, with massive artists like Craig Mack, Biggie Smalls, Lil Kim, The Lox, and many more. and this momentum carried over into the new millennium, cementing Diddy as one of the biggest media moguls the rap game ever saw. And as a celebrity and budding New York socialite, Diddy's profile would continue to grow as he broke into the A-list echelon. Diddy got into a high-profile relationship with Jennifer Lopez, flaunting his new bae and his success on the red carpet at the 2000 Grammy Awards. By the start of the new millennium, Diddy had truly made it, but interestingly, as Diddy had reached the top, he was living the high life as perhaps hip-hop's first true mogul. But unfortunately, in the shadowy gutter of New York's rap scene, a young 50 Cent was grinding and facing some of the hardest situations a man could possibly face. While Diddy had found fame and a fortune on the business side of the rap game in the late 90s, we also saw the emergence of another titan in the rap world. From Southside Jamaica, Queens, New York, a man named Curtis Jackson, locally known in the streets as Boo Boo before he found his 50 Cent moniker. 50 Cent was known as a menace in the streets of Queens, who was very active from a young age and was known as the boss of his 134 Guy Brewer block. But 50 Cent had bigger dreams than just running his block, and eventually was looking to turn his tales of running the streets into a buzzing rap career. In 1996, 50 was introduced to the legendary Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, who helped 50 establish his sound and trained him to write raps and helped improve his ability to write hooks and form proper songs. In 1999, 50 signed a deal and would join Columbia Records ahead of the release of his debut album, Power of the Dollar. But as 1999 was wrapping up, 50 felt that there was a lack of anticipation for his upcoming debut release. So on August the 10th, 50 chose to shake up the rap game and put many of the biggest artists on notice. He released the infamous track How to Rob, which was basically a diss track on the whole music industry, including firing shots at R&B singers Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat, as well as DMX and many more. But the very first diss at the start of the song was aimed at none other than P. Diddy himself. 50 was aware that dissing the biggest label owner at the time would certainly attract eyes to his project, marking this as the first entry into this saga of beef. In the song, 50 threatens to kidnap Diddy's then partner Kim Porter and orders Diddy that he'll need to pay her ransom and dance his way to the nearest ATM, hilariously alluding to Diddy's fruity dances often seen in Bad Boy videos. The strategy of airing out the entire rap game and aiming for the biggest names was a genius marketing move, and the song really put 50 on the map and got his name buzzing. Just like Diddy, 50 clearly had a business-oriented mind and was sharp enough to manipulate tactics to generate buzz for his projects and increase his sales. His method worked, and the very next month in September, 50 featured in the Next People on the Verge section in Vibe magazine. All was set for the big release of 50's debut album, but the next year, disaster struck for 50's career, as he would seemingly use the same strategy of airing people out publicly to get attention, but this time it was figures in the streets rather than the recording industry that he was exposing. His track Ghetto Quran was one of the first examples of a gangster rapper exposing other gangsters and their activities directly by name, specifically local drug lord Kenneth Supreme McGriff, with 50 rapping openly on the track that he would break down the story of the gangster running the South Side, openly saying that Supreme was the businessman and his enforcer Prince was killing people on behalf of him. The song delved in excruciating detail the sorts of cars that Supreme drove and called out members by name for snitching on people. 50 knew what he was doing, even rapping, don't be surprised of how freely he was naming serious big-time drug dealers and gangsters from his area. This song was wild, and in some people's eyes, one of the earliest examples of snitching on a record. But 50 didn't agree with this, telling Vibe magazine that everything he mentioned in the song had also been written about in books in the library and newspaper reports that had been available publicly. Now, I agree with the sentiment, and Ghetto Quran is certainly not snitching. However, 50 was actually from and living in the area that these gangsters he named ran in. This song was seen as the ultimate disrespect, specifically towards Supreme McGriff, who was mentioned in the opening lines of the song. So as a result, the streets decided that 50 Cent was a liability and would need to be taken out. On May the 24th, 2000, whilst 50 was in a car in front of his grandmother's house, a stranger approached him from behind and started shooting at close range. 50 was hit 9 times, but like a true soldier, 50 drove himself to Jamaica Hospital and survived the attack, narrowly escaping death. One bullet had knocked out a tooth, another had hit his hip, and sadly he was told that he would forever slur and limp, with the implication that this would obviously affect 50's ability to rap, but he didn't let it stop him. His original album, Power of the Dollar, was set for release in July 2000, but after the shooting, 50 was dropped from the label. Luckily, 50 managed to make a full recovery from the incident, and by 2001, he was back in the studio writing music once again. And it appears that by this point, Diddy had actually let the previous diss aimed at him on How to Rob slide, as 50 claims that Jennifer Lopez, Diddy's girlfriend at the time, had told Diddy to use 50 Cent as a ghostwriter. And allegedly, Diddy actually took up this advice, because on the 10th of July 2001, Bad Boy artist G-Dep released his song Let's Get It, a posse cut featuring Black Rob and P. Diddy himself, or Puffy as he was known at the time. According to 50 Cent, he actually wrote the chorus and Diddy's verse for this track, and when assessing the hook, it definitely seems to be something that could have been produced by 50's pen.
First time I came back was because Jennifer Lopez told Puffy he should have me come back to write music with him. I came back, Puffy had a song, it used to go, make this money, take this money. Ain't no way you could take this from me. They get money, let's get it. That don't feel like 50?
Now, the following year in 2002, 50 had officially become the hottest unsigned artist in the game, and on April 26, 2002, 50 released his mixtape Guess Who's Back, taunting his ops who left him for dead. And interestingly, despite the ghostwriting lifeline Diddy had thrown to him, on track 8 entitled Get Out the Club, 50 once again disses P. Diddy, calling Diddy a trick. A pointed bar, but also perhaps a slightly subtle hint that 50 might have known some of the nasty things Diddy had to do behind the scenes to get his career going. But 50 had ultimately come up off the back of drama and making a mockery of powerful people. And in natural Fofty fashion, he didn't just stop there. On August 1st, 2002, 50 Cent released the G-Unit assisted mixtape No Mercy, No Fear. And on track 16, part 2 and Bump Heads, 50 speaks on the outro to the instrumental of a Bad Boy song, I Need a Girl Part 2, where 50 says, hey Puffy, stop making those I Miss J-Lo records. For some reason, Diddy had obviously got under 50's skin, but at the time, Diddy chose not to respond or pay any of these disses any attention. Perhaps at the time, Diddy appreciated 50's Joker personality and understood that his method of virality was trying to prod the biggest names in the game. And honestly, it was working. As mentioned, 50 Cent was on fire during this time, and every label was desperately trying to sign him. And surprisingly, even after multiple public disses, Diddy himself also joined in on the bidding war. According to G-Unit member Tony Yayo, Diddy arranged a meeting with 50 to discuss a potential signing, but ultimately chose not to proceed due to 50's ongoing war in New York with Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the kingpin and founder of the notorious Supreme Team, who were one of the biggest crime syndicates in New York throughout the 80s to the 2000s. I guess even Diddy was scared of those guys.
I remember the first time, and a lot of people don't know the story, that 50 went to Diddy for Bad Boy. A lot of people don't know that. We had the meeting, and it was so crazy that Diddy didn't sign him. I know that was one of the biggest mistakes of Bad Boy. You know, the Preem situation, and a lot of people were scared of Preem. 50 wasn't. So it was just like, I remember Diddy said this. He don't even remember. He said the 3 things people hate about rappers. He's like, we can't sign you, Playboy. It's too much. He was like, it's too much drama, like, with the Biggie stuff and all that. And I was just looking like, damn, this he, you know what I'm saying?
But what do you mean drama with the Biggie stuff?
Because we came to Diddy. 50 came
after Biggie got killed.
That was one of the meetings that we had.
Okay.
With
what
Diddy.
year was this?
I don't know what year it was. We had meeting with Diddy. It was me and 50 there, and 50 he took the meeting out of respect. He had deals all over the table. I wasn't saying he was going to take the deal. He might have not, but Diddy didn't want to take the deal because all the drama. But 50 was the hottest on the planet.
Okay, was How to Rob out at this point?
Nah, this is after How to Rob. This is after he got shot, and he had all the mixtape on Smash.
With some rumors circulating that Diddy and other New York City-based record labels actually blackballed 50 Cent from the industry due to the perceived danger of working with him. And another rumor had circulated that during a studio session, 50 Cent actually pulled out a gun and scared Diddy. So next, as you may know, 50 Cent ultimately chose to sign with Eminem's Shady Records in conjunction with Dr. Dre's Aftermath. And the next year, under that label, he would release his classic album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', which went on to become one of the most commercially successful hip-hop albums of all time, selling over 800,000 units in its first week, debuting at #1 and going down as a modern-day classic rap album at the time. And 50 went on to become a legendary figure in the rap game. Within just a couple of short years, 50 had risen to the top of the rap game, arguably quicker than Diddy did. And while Diddy was chasing mogul status, and at the time, 50 was still focused on being an artist, ultimately it would be hard to imagine two such enormous characters and personalities coexisting in the cutthroat world of the NYC rap scene peacefully. Slowly but surely, behind the scenes, 50 and Diddy's animosity would be growing. And while at times they would be friends, collaborators, or perhaps frenemies, what would ultimately unfold would see them eventually becoming bitter rivals, setting the stage for 50 to begin to contend with Diddy in the Mogul rankings and patiently waiting over 2 decades to eventually claim Diddy's scalp. Over the next few years, Diddy and 50's beef went quiet, likely due to all the success on both sides. But behind the scenes, tension was brewing. By 2003, both men were megastars in the rap game in their own rights. One interesting moment occurred when the two crossed paths on the 28th of August 2003, as Diddy ended up presenting the award for Best Rap Video at the MTV VMAs award show, with the winner being none other than 50 Cent for In the Club.
And the award for Best Rap Video goes to
Come on, Playboy. 50 Cent.
And 50 Cent and Eminem would touch the stage, dapping up Diddy, seemingly on good vibes. However, that same year, something would happen that changed everything, because apparently one chance encounter between Diddy and 50 Cent had 50 feeling some type of way. Apparently in 2003, New York music executive Chris Lighty, who was close to both 50 and Diddy, held a star-studded wedding, where Lighty tied the knot with his wife Veronica. Both 50 and Diddy were in attendance, and 15 years later, whilst on an interview with The Breakfast Club, 50 revealed that Diddy had said something to him that made him uncomfortable.
He said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
So 50 would also elaborate on this strange offer on his 2020 Drink Champs interview, when it was revealed that 50 and Diddy had been placed together on the same table at the wedding, and it was incredibly awkward.
He's like, I have.
He pressed all of them like Meek Mill, Lil Baby. 50 probably one of the only ones reacted how he reacted. The rest of them let Diddy sexually harass him and dress like them and all that type of bullshit for money and fame.
50, I think it's Steve Stout and Puff at the same table. He said it was the most awkward ever, and that you was instigating some shit.
And it was at this point that Diddy made the strange comment offering to take 50 Cent shopping and pay for everything.
Then Puff was like, first he was amping him to get Stout. Then he was like, he's like, when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we could just hang out. We gotta kick it. This is Puff. Okay. He telling me we gotta kick it, and he was like, why don't we like go shopping or something? I mean, like, I'll pay for it. And I was like, fuck this just saying. I got the fuck away from him because I was like, this nigga fucking this just tell me he take me shopping.
Clearly, this comment had gotten under 50's skin. It's unclear if this was a misinterpreted attempt at Diddy being friendly to 50, or a sign of disrespect trying to mock his fashion sense, or perhaps, even worse, a deeply disturbing attempt at mind games to put 50 Cent in a subordinate position.
Let me get out of dude, you take me. That's what a guy says to a girl. Don't make like it's just me, man. What if you do some like a little fluffy stuff going on?
Regardless of the intent, 50 was troubled by the way that Diddy was behaving at the wedding, and from 2003 onward, he would continue making subtle jabs at Diddy in his music, such as the slick line on the November 4th, 2003 G-Unit track, Poppin' Them Thangs, where 50 joked about the time Diddy assaulted label executive Steve Stout. Luckily, the charges were dropped and the two were back friends. They'd seemingly spent time on good terms, for example, being pictured together at showbiz events in 2004. But this would all change in 2006, when 50 Cent was gearing up to release his mixtape, G-Unit Radio 22, Hip Hop is Dead. As before the release of this tape, 50 had been attempting to sign former Bad Boy Records star Mace to his G-Unit collective and label. They became close, with Mace even appearing in the music video to 50's hit song Window Shopper, which dropped in November 2005, perhaps sending a sign to the world that he'd been window shopping for a new record deal. Funnily enough, there's a much deeper meaning to this, as it later emerged that 50 was offended and creeped out when Diddy offered to take him shopping, and in the music video, 50 had seemingly done the exact same thing, taking Mace out for a shopping spree. Interestingly, if you look deeply at 50's lyrics in the song, there's clearly numerous jabs at Diddy that wouldn't even make sense until over 20 years later. In the hook, 50 aims open-ended bars at an unnamed hater, saying that they're mad at him and he knows why, and claiming that somebody is mad when they see him drive by, calling out an unnamed op for screw-facing him but not having the heart to diss him, seemingly hinting at Diddy potentially failing to re-sign Mace, rapping, "Why you mad at 50 when you effed up your own rear?" and using a double entendre to say something is about to get stolen, a possible reference to Mace being poached by 50 Cent's label. But even deeper, the song has bars which I personally think hint towards some of the sexual depravity Diddy was exposed for 20 years later, such as 50 opening the track saying the top feels so much better than the bottom. And if you think I'm reaching, even Charlemagne in 2018 brought this line up when 50 told him Diddy had offered to take him shopping.
But you've been getting at him for over a decade. I remember when you said the top feels so much better than the bottom.
I've been saying this.
50 also made reference to freak offs, which would later be mentioned in a big indictment against Diddy, and a remix of the song featuring Mace would later release as part of 50's mixtape, G-Unit Radio Part 16, as well as his Bulletproof video game soundtrack. Cameron would later question Mace on what on earth he was doing out shopping with 50 in the music video in a hilarious 2023 podcast.
In 50 Cent's video, Window Shopping, what was your role exactly in that?
What was my role?
Took you shopping.
Mace and Cam could sit here and joke all they want, but people like me remember when Cameron say he went to kick it with Mace. Mace was staying at one of Diddy's penthouse suites or brownstones or whatever. Cameron say he went to the bathroom and it was a dildo on the counter. A dildo on the counter in the bathroom. Cameron say, damn, what? He said he went to ask Mace, man, what's up, man? What the dildo on the counter? And Mace said, oh, man, that's old boy, man. That's old boy stuff. Talking about Diddy. So They been knowing Diddy was super freaky. They chilling at his house, dildos laying around everywhere. They want to talk about that.
They said he scooped you and took you shopping in the video. That's what they told me. I didn't see the video. I don't know. I just was asking.
I'm gonna let you in.
This video caused issue between 50 and Diddy, as Mace was always a bad boy artist and was almost seen as Diddy's right-hand man. But ultimately, Mace was disgruntled with his deal and had made it public, with one article quoting him as saying even Diddy knew he wanted to leave the label. In fact, this MTV article seemed to portray the signing as a done deal, sporting a headline claiming that even Diddy was in favor of the deal, with quotes from Mace suggesting that he had pretty much decided that joining G-Unit was a done deal. Interestingly, the article suggested that Diddy and Mace had already discussed their contract buyout, and that Diddy had told the news with a grin that he's certain that 50 Cent has the money to buy Mace out of his deal. However, things weren't as sorted as they seemed, with 50 claiming in a 2014 Funk Flex interview on Hot 97 that Diddy did some sucker stuff over this deal.
Nah, ever since Mace, you've always had a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, he did some sucker.
You always had a bad taste in your mouth.
He was a sucker on the Mace project because he know what he did.
50 would recount a run-in at the Nobu restaurant with Diddy, claiming that Diddy told him it was all good and he was just waiting for 50 to take care of the finances to release Mace from his deal.
But then we was in Nobu, me, him, and Jimmy sitting there, right? He was at the table having dinner with some other people and came over. Yo, Playboy, yo, I thought, you know how we going to Tiffany Co. right now. We pick up something, they ain't gonna say nothing. They're gonna send us an invoice later. They're gonna let us walk out. That's what I thought you was doing with Mace. I thought you was taking him on tour. When you come back, you're gonna take care of me. I said, oh, it ain't nothing. So I just waiting for you to take care of me.
Interestingly, he also said that Diddy muddied the waters between 50 Cent and Jimmy Iovine, who 50 was in Nobu to have a meeting with about negotiating the deal for G-Unit artist The Game's next album, with Diddy apparently making a too good to be true offer for Mace, saying that he would give him the money to sign him and complete the album, and that 50 and Jimmy could keep the profits once Diddy had recouped from Mace's deal. Not only a too good to be true offer, but it also put 50 in a tough spot with Jimmy, who was there to work out the G-Unit deal on The Game's next album.
When Jimmy gets all antsy, because right now he don't know we having a meeting to talk about him actually going, it's time to sell a Game album again. So he's trying to figure out how to have this conversation with me. I've never heard a person say this to me ever again in my career. He says, okay, look, you guys, make the deal. Like, look, I'll give up my profit.
But you felt good about that.
Yeah, make the project. And after we recoup the money that we spent, take the profits. Man, Mace might not even get a chance to write all of the record. I'm trying to write the record for him. Super good deal. Never, ever again.
And you kind of feel Diddy made the deal hard.
Yeah, like after he just said something that I'm never going to hear from my career ever again.
In this interview, 50 would then reveal that later, Diddy eventually told him that he was really expecting a whopping $2 million to release Mace from his contract, with 50 famously saying that Mace wasn't worth $2 million with $2 million in his pocket and that he'd have paid $1 million max.
Was there a number talked about?
Yeah, I was like, what you looking for that? He said $2 million. I'm like, Mace ain't worth $2 million with $2 million in his pocket. You crazy? It was $1 million over what that was supposed to. He could have got $1 million.
50 even said he felt like Diddy was trying to take advantage of him because he knew he was new to the game and that he had $2 million after the success of Get Rich or Die Trying.
He was trying to do that. You knew, like, let me get that. The $2 million.
You knew and you got it. Give it to me.
Yeah, give it to me. I'm like, man, you gotta be crazy, man.
This $2 million offer was far beyond what Mace was worth and pretty much a go F yourself offer. Diddy was pretending to be serious about letting 50 sign Mace, basically to waste his time and money. As Mace explained later, Diddy essentially blocked the deal from going through.
G-Unit was somewhat a deal that you guys tried to make happen. What went wrong with that deal?
You want the honest answer?
That's
what we're on there for.
Yeah.
You know why it didn't go through. Diddy didn't let it go through. That's the reason it didn't go through. He wanted 50 to give him all of the money he thought I owed him. And I thought he owed me money, so that was always the underlining battle, the invisible battle. So then when I said I wanted to go with G-Unit, he was trying to get all of the money back from 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a street guy. He's not going to pay that, So then you run into issues. So when Puff, he just kept saying he wanted $2 million, then he wanted $3 million, and he was just trying to make it where we wouldn't have a budget. If you give him all the money, you know how Puff is. You're going to cut your arm off to get free.
Okay.
So if you get free, you're gonna have an invisible leg or something.
This was a furious head-to-head and a deep situation when you think about it. 50 came up as a rapper and reached the top of the game before trying his hand at business and the executive positions. Meanwhile, Diddy had somehow managed to climb the greasy pole as an executive with handy deals made behind the scenes that propelled him to the top of the boardroom as a label executive, with Diddy using his industry clout and the help of actually talented writers like 50 to eventually make himself a famous rapper too. Now 50, a successful artist, was trying to poach one of the most famous artists who had helped Diddy make a name for himself. This would represent a serious challenge for dominance in the backrooms of the rap industry and set the stage for an intense beef that would unfold for years to come. 50 Cent would escalate the beef to new heights when he dropped his P Diddy diss track, The Bomb, aka Hip Hop, ahead of that mixtape's release. Articles began to circulate at the end of August 2006 saying 50 Cent just dropped the bomb on Diddy. The song itself was a remix of Dead Prez's classic track Hip Hop with one of the most iconic beats in the history of rap. On the track, 50 rapped that Diddy knew who killed Biggie and that he was scared of the boys who did it from the West Side. The song had a boastful hook where he claimed that him and his G-Unit crew run hip hop in its entirety, not Diddy. 50 would also rant at Diddy on the outro with a long tirade that dissed Diddy into another dimension. He mocked Diddy's party, saying that he won't be getting invited to the white party in the Hamptons after this diss, but 50 doesn't want to come to the white parties anyway, and he doesn't want to hang out with Diddy's punk. He'd then move on to rant about Diddy blocking him signing Mace, saying that he doesn't even want Mace anymore, going on to say that Diddy and Mace wasted his time on purpose and that Diddy should reimburse him $50,000 in travel fees for flying around the world trying to help Mace. He'd even claimed that somebody told him something about Diddy that he could easily expose. Now, this song caused a huge splash when it was released, but funnily enough, in recent months, since the FBI's raids on Diddy's properties, it's actually had a resurgence, with YouTube commenters joking that the feds must have been spinning this song during the raid. It seemed that following this, rather than outright beef, 50 Cent opted to kill his enemies with success. And going into 2007, in August, when the Forbes Hip Hop Cash Kings list was announced, 50 Cent had actually overtaken Diddy, ranking number 2 behind Jay-Z, with Diddy in 3rd place as the top 3 earning rappers. However, it may well have been the case that 50 was actually the number 1 spot secretly, as the deal for Coca-Cola to buy vitamin water, which 50 Cent invested in early, was only announced a little more than a week before this list went public. And since 50 was set to make a rumored 9-figure sum from the deal, he may well have been number 1 by a landslide, but the numbers weren't actually known yet. Now go check my vintage video on that topic if you want to know the whole story. But clearly, there was a lot of competition between the top earners in hip-hop, and interestingly, all of them were New Yorkers. Funnily enough, despite their bitter rivalries, less than a week later, all 3 of these rich rappers would end up having a dramatic run-in with each other. On August 22nd, 2007, T.I. and Ciara's Screamfest tour would go to Madison Square Garden in New York, and at the show, there would be a surprise performance by T.I., Jay-Z, Kanye West, 50 Cent, and Diddy. This was a wild moment and included some strange things, because when Jay-Z realized 50 Cent had walked onto the stage, it seemed like a frosty introduction, and there was a little tension between them.
We got, hey.
You can get down. You can get down. It's all good.
This a real special moment, ain't it?
Come on, you can get something.
This a real special moment. Uncle Diddy in the mother house. 50 had to come back out and make my show hot. I so appreciate it. Hey, 50, I'm glad you up here because you can share my enthusiasm.
Yeah. Some have suggested that this was completely unplanned and that 50 Cent actually invaded the stage and strong-armed the others into letting him stay, asserting his dominance as the king of New York rap, with it being suggested that Jay's introduction showed him he was rattled and didn't have a choice but to let 50 stay on the stage.
We got, hey.
You can get down. You can get down. It's all good.
This a real special moment, ain't it?
Come on, you can get something.
This a real special moment.
During Kanye's performance of Can't Tell Me Nothing, Diddy and 50 would be seen running around the stage separately, and all 5 would stand side by side on the stage in a legendary moment that sent the fans wild. But quite a few weird things played out in the dynamics between these frenemies of rap royalty during this performance. 50 would begin hilariously counting a large wad of money on stage, and 50 and Diddy would then seem to walk towards each other for a moment before the camera cut back to T.I. At one point, Diddy seems to be creeping up behind 50 with 50's head on a swivel and watching out for Diddy approaching him, and perhaps for good reason, because this is where Diddy famously spanked Jay-Z's bottom in front of the whole crowd in a bizarre play of power. Now, I'll be honest, having watched this closely, it seems that 50 continually keeps his distance from Diddy, with Diddy seemingly keeping eyes on 50 and often trying to get closer to him. At one point, 50 is actually distracted by the crowd, and Diddy does a complete 360 turn and keeps eyes on 50's rear. But then, right at the end, Diddy actually runs in with his arm around Ye and throws his arm around 50 Cent, with 50 visibly pulling back from Diddy's embrace, quickly shaking him loose. Right at the end, the two would face off for a tense moment where to me, 50 looks like he's mean-mugging Diddy slightly. It was an insane moment with wild timing, all happening just a week after all of these artists fought it out to decide who would be the hip-hop's top moneymaker in Forbes magazine. But perhaps this event, or the fact that they were all getting money, brought them together, as not long after that event, the remix to 50 Cent's smash hit I Get Money drops, which is called the Forbes $123 billion remix, featuring both P. Diddy and Jay-Z dropping verses on 50's hit song. Interestingly, at the time, Jay-Z claimed that 50 actually wanted to get him and Diddy on his remix, which showed the world there was no longer hate between them. The remix itself didn't feature any shade by 50 and was mainly just braggadocious bars. However, in Diddy's verse, he dropped many questionable lyrics that today would have anyone giving the side-eye. Ironically, he started his verse ending the first 3 lines with the phrase "Diddy did it," and the 4th by saying his lawyer is so good that Diddy got acquitted. For now, it seemed that Diddy and 50 had actually become friends, or at least neutral for the time being. However, in a 2008 MTV interview backstage, Diddy and 50 had a play fight after 50 crashed a Diddy interview to promote his new reality show.
Broaden everybody's horizons. Yeah, definitely. I was looking for you. I tell you, get your hand out my pocket, man. Get your hand out my pocket. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing on the channel. Get your hand out my pocket, man. Look at me when I'm talking to you. I see, yo. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, man. I see what you're doing. Nah, look at me, man. I see what you're doing, man. Yeah, you gonna make me. Okay, I'm telling you right now. On I Want to Work for Diddy, I'm going to physically put my hands on somebody for the ratings because he's not going to outdo me. I'm going to physically. I'm going to go to Central Book. Yeah. I'm used to it. I know what it is. But get your hand on my pocket. Get off my channel, boy. I love this show. Though.
You got the brand new show. Have you seen it?
I love this show.
Donald Trump's seen it as well.
Yeah. Donald Trump saying my show is a knockoff of The Apprentice. I said, what's the matter with Donald?
Hey, yo,
I mean, he got a little age on him. You can see
to me, be honest, it felt a little I Want to Work for Diddy inspired to me, though.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, this is what I got to do it, right? And these are my friends. But the guys that really don't like me, that's who you need to talk to. You know what I'm saying?
I love the show, though. For real. I think it's important, like, when you see your friend getting into a new era and a new game, it's important if they do the right thing and they do it the right way. My man did his show the right way. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I love the show.
It seemed that while friendly, the two were still on thin ice, and soon the tension would be rising. Diddy and 50 appeared together again when 50 Cent became embroiled in a deep beef with Rick Ross. Now go check my vintage video on that if you don't know the story. But during the beef, 50 made several incredibly disrespectful vlogs and videos trolling Rick Ross, including one where he invited Rick Ross's son and his mother to Floyd Mayweather's mansion in Las Vegas, with an arguably uncomfortable-looking Diddy appearing in the background for parts of the video. At one point, Diddy and 50 seem to be having a friendly conversation, and they go on to eat candy and chat with Floyd and film director Gary Gray for a while. This was surprising, as it seemed that Rick Ross and Diddy actually had a good relationship, but it's entirely possible that Diddy's presence there was completely unplanned. In fact, in the coming months and years, it would emerge that clearly Diddy was much closer to Rick Ross than 50 Cent on a personal level, as Rick Ross would later appear on the 2010 remix to Diddy's Dirty Money Crew's track Angels. And a few months later, in April 2010, it would be announced that Diddy had become Rick Ross's official manager, with Rick Ross later claiming in an interview that their relationship is much deeper than just rap, and later announcing that they were recording a joint project together under the name Bugatti Boys, and releasing the track Another One. Unfortunately, as Rick Ross's beef with 50 Cent ended up getting extremely raw and personal, no doubt 50 begun seeing Diddy and Ricky in the same batch as certified ops. But in the years that followed, there was less personal back and forth.
Diddy is singing to that nigga Fresh Montana happy birthday. Like what's that lady name? Like that lady was singing to John F. Kennedy, Marilyn Monroe, when she sung Happy Birthday, Mr. President. When Marilyn Monroe sung Happy Birthday, Mr. President, all sexual, and Diddy know he should feel disgusting. Marilyn Monroe sung Happy Birthday, Mr. President to her lover, who she was sleeping with, along with a lot of other people. Then you have P. Diddy singing all in a sexual tone, Happy Birthday to Fresh Montana, and Fresh Montana sitting there laughing. That's another nigga. Diddy, see one thing about Diddy, like he did Meek Mill, things about you go boy, you deserve it. You go boy, I love you. Meek in the pool, damn near naked. Diddy standing over him. See, Diddy he get full of pills and shit, and then he sexually harassed them niggas on camera, bro.
Between Diddy and 50, perhaps 50 knew how terminal Diddy's decline would eventually be. He seemed to keep a safe distance from hip-hop supervillain, but eventually, just like the situation with Mace, the beef between Diddy and 50 would be reignited once again, with the war playing out this time in the business boardrooms, rather than in disses in songs. While Diddy made his name in the record business, heading up Bad Boy Records with the booming success of the notorious B.I.G., and after Biggie's untimely and suspect death, eventually making a name for himself as a rapper, but Diddy's career as a moneymaker went far beyond just the rap music industry. He famously founded clothing brand Sean John, which generated hundreds of millions of dollars, and a company that he eventually sold pieces of for top dollar. But Diddy's next famous power play in the business world was becoming the spokesperson for Ciroc, an alcoholic beverage made of grapes, marketed as vodka, but not necessarily actually vodka. Something that Diddy seemed to suggest was an asset rather than a finesse, claiming that only peasants drink actual vodka made from potatoes.
Blue Dot Ciroc. It's made with grapes, not potatoes. It's the smoothest thing out there. It's better than that.
They finessed him. He
Great
finessed black
PP.
people.
Put that geese down, ho. We Ciroc boys. Would you rather drink potatoes or grapes? I'm a king. Kings drink grapes. Queens drink grapes. We don't drink potatoes, okay? Peasants drink potatoes, okay?
The grape-derived party drink eventually came in a variety of fruity flavors that matched Diddy's various personalities perfectly. Interestingly, the brand was launched back in 2003, and one of the first celebrities used to market the product was NFL player Earl Little. Know very little about him. It doesn't seem like he really got the brand popping. The brand Ciroc would truly catapult itself into the hip-hop world in 2007 when they started working with Jay-Z and eventually Diddy, who began pushing the brand hard after signing an alleged $100 million deal with the brand, announcing the partnership in a glossy press conference where Diddy claimed that this partnership with Ciroc would revolutionize the spirits industry forever.
Ciroc Vodka is entering into a groundbreaking strategic alliance with Sean Combs. Sean Combs and Ciroc Vodka.
This is history because this is not an endorsement deal. This is not a co-branding deal. I'm going to be taking the lead on the marketing, the advertising, the brand building, where it's sold, how it's sold, and I'm very excited about building a luxury brand.
Man, this nigga was just a highly paid pitch man, bro. This nigga, I thought they had owned Ciroc. They don't own none of this shit. These people will never let them own their stuff. They don't have to. He found out. He's suing them. That his ass is going to prison trying to fool with the small hats like this after he worked for him for all these years. The man just was a worker. He worked for him. And got mad when they wouldn't give him no equity in the company. After he finessed. I want you to understand this. And it's in his court papers, Lil Raw. Ciroc might get sued too. They saying he was trafficking drugs, liquid heroin, liquid crack, liquid meth and shit in those Ciroc bottles to parties, all these high-priced parties. Yeah, that's what's in the court papers.
Alliance with Diageo is something that will revolutionize the spirits industry forever.
And it certainly revolutionized Diddy's pockets forever, with it emerging that Diddy was in charge of all marketing for the Ciroc brand in a big money deal that would see Diddy sharing 50% of the profits. Over the following 6 years or so, Diddy would shamelessly plug this drink at every opportunity, in glossy TV ads depicting Diddy partying in high class with Ciroc as his drink of choice, to 3-minute commercial movies where Diddy would hold the Ciroc smooth off and refer to himself as Ciroc Obama. He would hold star-studded Ciroc parties attended by the biggest rappers of the era, and he would famously ring in the new year after year with his Ciroc the New Year campaign and yearly parties.
We are here live behind the scenes putting the party together. Y'all have heard about the world famous party. Many have asked, but few are chosen. It is an exclusive event happening at the Combs estate tonight.
And soon, Ciroc would be an inescapable part of every single Diddy party, some of which were inescapable. But at the time, the Ciroc branding's association with the Diddy parties was brilliant. By 2013, Ciroc was making and spending so much money on their ads, they were looking like full-blown Hollywood movies with star-studded casts of A-list actors. This one ad alone included appearances from Matt Goss, Diddy, Frank Vincent, Jesse Williams, Chad Michael Murray, Michael K. Williams, Christopher Jones, and Aaron Paul. And in a 2013 interview, Diddy spoke on his business ambitions in a sit-down which declared his business empire worth a whopping $345 million, with Diddy claiming that he wanted to produce the music you hear, the clothes you wear, the alcohol you drink, with Martin Bashir seemingly spotting Diddy's insane megalomania all the way back then.
His bad boy business empire, with Diddy at the center, is now worth an estimated $345 million. He calls him
and building your brand. This nigga was not. This nigga was building Ciroc's brand, bro. And when he really wanted in on some of the real money, they told him, "Hell no, nah, boy, get back out there and make us some old videos, nigga. Dance around and hold them bottles. You're good at it, but you ain't coming to no boardroom meetings. You see, this is what Kanye West was talking about, and he was scared to talk about. This was Kanye West was talking about. This man wasn't nobody but a pitch man for these people.
Himself, the Black James Bond. neither shaken nor stirred, but always
people
selling.
to have Ciroc.
Is there anything
he forced the hip hop community to have Ciroc and all of the hip hop artists. Think about this: all of them rich athletes. He forcing them get the Ciroc. He finessed a lot of black people. Then you got the drug dealers. They want to be like the hip hop cats. Man, give me about 10 bottles of that Ciroc, man. It's crazy.
You would not promote. How about Diddy dog food?
No, I wouldn't do Diddy dog food. I was going to make the clothes that you would get dressed in, the fragrance you would put on, listen to the music that I produced.
Man, please. I think all them days of bag-ass Sean John and bag-ass Rockwell, bag-ass Russell said, Fat Form. We weren't wearing that. We started wearing it because that's what they were selling us. Then niggas just putting on them clown clothes, and this is really disgusting, bro. They didn't own none of it. That's serious business, man. Come to find out money laundering going on the whole time. These niggas just the faces of these people money laundering. It's just ridiculous when you find out. Talking about all the brands they was building. They don't even own Bad Boy. That nigga was building nothing, lying to us, finessing all of our wealth. And then they got the nerve to tell you black people don't buy nothing no way. We're talking in the white audience. Stop lying that myth. You've been talking to us the whole damn time.
That was in the club.
Some people might think that's a form of megalomania. That you would think that. A form of megalomania.
Oh, it could be.
By 2014, Diddy had truly taken his Ciroc brand to the top of the game. But naturally, if one person is making a bag in business, it doesn't take long for new competitors to try and get into the market. And perhaps unsurprisingly, once again, Diddy's latest corporate op would be none other than 50 Cent himself. Now, in the years following the Rick Ross beef, while Diddy was building the Ciroc brand, the beef between Diddy and 50 got relatively quiet. That's not to say that there weren't the usual characteristic jabs from 50, with shots being sent Diddy's way here and there. The summer of 2010 would actually see 50 Cent going on a Diddy hate press run of sorts. He would do back-to-back interviews where he dropped maximum shade on Diddy. On June the 10th, 50 would be on a Boston radio show called Jammin' 94.5, where he called in to say Diddy's music sucks and that he's a bloodsucker, as well as saying Diddy shouldn't say that Rick Ross reminds him of Biggie Smalls.
I was online, man, and I was reading you're not a big Puffy fan these days.
Well, you know what? His music sucks.
Don't be blunt, 50. Tell us what's on your mind.
No, it's bad. It's bad.
What is it you don't like about Puffy's music right now?
He's not an artist anyway, so
that's true.
It doesn't really matter. Like if you think about it, is he a rapper?
No.
Because he said he don't write rhymes, he writes text.
That's right. So you're not buying Puffy CD when it comes out at all, huh?
Nobody's buying it. He even said himself he don't expect it to sell. Like he's okay, just he's just using it as a promotional tool. Like, and standing next to these fools is his promotional tool too. Like, how does Rick Ross remind you of Biggie? Any Biggie fan objects to that.
Yeah.
He's close to him. So how can he say that? Like, he says that, what, because he's fat and his eyes are? That's what you think makes you remind you of Biggie? Like, it's almost like he's trying to recreate what he had. It's like he's seen now.
Yeah.
Now you get older, things start feeling crazy. You think he's recreating that moment. But tell the truth, man. You know Puffy just sucks, man. Look, he's the serpent. He's going to suck the blood out of him.
He's one hell of a businessman.
Yeah, but what he does is suck the blood out of the artist. What artist exists after the interaction with him?
A week later, in a diss towards 50, Diddy announced that he was renaming his supergroup to the Supreme Team, the same name as the gang who shot 50. Then, on June the 24th, 2010, during another interview, 50 spoke on Diddy and said despite having music out, he wouldn't class Diddy as an actual artist because he doesn't write any of his music, suggesting that he's more in the business of making music rather than actual art.
You know what's interesting? He's not an artist.
He has an album.
Yeah, but he's not an artist. See, an artist would be someone who actually wrote something maybe on the record. Imagine if I just sat around and listened to people's CDs and said, I'm just going to say the first verse that I hear that sounds good. That would completely take away the pressure. I'd still be the artist in front of you with a new song every 2 minutes because every artist that has a song that would like to make some money off it would send it. What I thought was a part of the culture and what made hip-hop culture exciting to me was each person's individual experience. How you learn to enjoy them as an individual and their portion of their life. Carving out that piece. When that's not there because they're just being executive, like you say, you don't write rhymes, you write checks. That's not hard. Like for hip hop, it's not.
Now, Diddy would actually clap back at 50 in a speech made at the BET Awards after party in June 2010, where he told people to stop hating, saying that hate is for suckers, without actually naming 50 directly, but calling him a crab. Naturally, 50 would continue smack-talking Diddy in response to these jabs. In July 2010, 50 would question Diddy's intentions in the art of hip-hop again, after Diddy appeared on the song The Ghost of Christopher Wallace with Jay Electronica, another tribute to Diddy's fallen friend and artist Biggie Smalls, and it had 50 feeling some type of way. He would let the public know that he didn't appreciate Diddy for using Biggie's name for clout and money, tweeting, "Enough is enough. Biggie's name should have never become Diddy's black card. Let Diddy know to let B.I.G. rest in peace. When was the last time Diddy really was bigging up his brother, not bigging up his bank?" 50 would actually start a Twitter petition trying to ban Diddy from using Biggie's name going forward. And around the same time as this, in August or July, another interview would drop where 50 Cent hopped on the radio with DJ Who Kid on Shade 45. And here, 50 would be asked about the comments that Diddy made at the BET Awards after party, with 50 responding calling Puffy a bitch and suggesting that he simply wants attention from men.
Though the after party, do you think that Diddy was coming at you though?
Really interesting because, you know, Puffy's like a to describe Puffy in one word is a see, you know how ugly always got like pretty friends?
Yeah, I know
That's
what you
how he built his group. He want to be the hot in the group. He'll make sure he getting all the attention.
Yep, they get the dudes hollering at them, everything. Is that the pretty bitch with the ugly girls?
He want to make sure that niggas want to holler at him. If he'll tell you himself what happened in Miami, stay in Miami.
They would even for a moment bring up the fact that Diddy was forming a group called the Supreme Team, with 50 saying Puffy should know better.
He did change the name though. He did change. Well, he changed the
to Dream Team,
Supreme Team.
Better than to do that shit.
So where did it go wrong though? Because I know y'all was cool. Like where did it turn
I don't
wrong?
know what made him name that group that. That's what made me
Supreme
think.
Team.
Oh, okay, the Supreme Team. And then it was like, yo, why you why?
50 would then go on to say that he spoke to Diddy on the phone after the Mace situation, saying that Diddy had a new girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, with 50 saying he'd been sent compromising pictures of her that had been submitted to his website, thisis50.com. Now, what he was sent were tapes that would allegedly later be described as one of Diddy's freak-off videos.
Then like he called, we used to kick it on the telephone after the Mace. Matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow. Are you kidding me up?
Like penetration pictures and
Nah, come on, man. Come on, Phil.
And when 50 says in the interview, not the stuff that you saw, it's way worse, he was referring to leaked topless pictures of Cassie that had circulated in mid-2009, with them eventually being taken down for a pretty interesting reason, with one Hollywood gossip blog explaining that the topless pictures of Cassie were taken down due to a claim from Bad Boy Records, on the basis that they had bought the photos and had exclusive rights over them. Interestingly, this 50 Cent interview was the following year, months after the rumors had circulated on Twitter that Cassie's even more compromising clips had been leaked, and the following year in 2011, Media Takeout would report that they had been contacted by somebody claiming to have an explicit tape that starred both Diddy and Cassie together, with an explicit photo of themselves together also getting shared online around this time. But anyway, 50 would go on explaining that after he was sent the alleged freak-off video through his website, he actually called Diddy to ask him if Cassie was really his girlfriend.
say, yo, you with this girl, like you really you like her like that? And he was like, yeah, that's my girl. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send you something. You look at it, you call me back.
50 said that it was after this confirmation from Diddy that Cassie was indeed his real girlfriend that he sent Diddy the clips, but he was surprised when Diddy called him back and said thank you for the video.
I sent him the photos, the pictures and everything, and the nigga called back and was like, yo, thanks, man, yo, I really appreciate that.
Diddy would go on to quiz 50, asking him where did you get these from, with 50 reminding everybody that usually when he gets sent something, it's getting posted online.
I sent him the photos, the pictures and everything, and the nigga called back and was like, yo, thanks, man, yo, I really appreciate that. Yo, where you get these from? And I said, you know, like, because they know, like, if something crazy is going on, if they send it to me, I'll make sure it get out there. Like, as far as this 50.com is concerned.
Yeah, yep.
And then 50 would go on to drop a bombshell, explaining that because of the way Diddy reacted, he realized that these pictures and videos weren't being made because Cassie wanted them, but because actually Diddy wanted them. Even saying cryptically that Puffy likes to take advantage of all the suckers.
You know, I really kind of felt like those photographs were not happening because of Cassie. I felt like they was happening because of Puffy. A girl moved from a man and she upgraded to be insecure, you know what I'm saying? They start feeling some kind of way, especially like whoever the guy was she was with in the photos versus where Puffy's at. Puffy's, he ain't no spouse, you know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, he's been able to take advantage of all the suckers.
This was a bombshell interview, but it didn't really pick up steam at the time. Interestingly, however, a month later in September 2010, 50 Cent would actually run into both Jay-Z and Diddy backstage, with 50 later telling MTV that he'd seemingly squashed his beef with Diddy, with the two having a conversation and coming to an understanding, with 50 saying, "I had a conversation with Puffy the night before Jay. He gave me a whole new perspective on his actions. He's like, I understand the way you felt because of what I was doing at the time, but I wasn't thinking what you was thinking I was. You done hit me 9 times, I'm just in the fetal position because I understand why you're attacking me. But if I can't touch bases with you to tell you what I'm thinking or why I did it, then you can't understand it." We created a little clarity out there. Interestingly, a week later, Diddy would be on the cover of Vibe magazine along with 50's arch nemesis Rick Ross. The article would discuss the feud, with 50 stating that Diddy was unfazed by 50 claiming to have the nudes of Cassie. But Diddy wouldn't answer any direct questions or give any quotes relating to 50 Cent. Seemingly, the bitter feud was frozen into a cold war at this point. 50 and Diddy would appear to leave each other alone for all of 2011 and the majority of 2012, with one of the only jabs being thrown by 50 in December of 2012 when he made a tweet about music manager James Cruz, an ominous post where he said that he asked Diddy what he did to James Cruz to make him act like one of his girlfriends, going on to say that Diddy said, "What happens in Miami stays in Miami." And Tony Yayo from G-Unit would later say in a Vlad TV interview that 50 had actually told him that Diddy had hooked up with James Cruz.
Already said. Oh, he said, all right, 50 said James Cruz F Diddy. Oh. Like had sex with Diddy. Some crazy. Okay. But come on, I didn't believe it was true. You know what I mean? Shout out to Diddy, Cruz, and 50.
Now, this was seemingly a joke, but some took it serious, and it was yet another hint from 50 Cent that Diddy's extracurricular activities were slowly getting known by the world. But once again, things would quieten down between the two, until 50 once again saw something sus from Diddy, with 50 on social media just being unable to hold his tongue. This time, tweeting a picture of Diddy and Rick Ross embracing, almost as if about to kiss, with the caption, "Good morning, girl." Again, nearly a year would go by before another shot would be fired, with 50 reposting that same picture, along with yet another sus image of Diddy with Steve Stout in March of 2014, along with a caption reading, "I ain't saying nothing, but something ain't right, LMAO." But while 50 was throwing jabs, Diddy was getting busy. At the end of March, he would release a new song under his original stage name, Puff Daddy, assisted by French Montana and Rick Ross. 50 Cent would quickly react in an interview on 92Q, which has unfortunately since been deleted on their website, but in a Vibe article reporting on it, it was claimed in the new interview that 50 had called Diddy's new song with French Montana and Rick Ross straight garbage, saying, "You know he hasn't got any music you want to hear if this is what he's deciding to put out." 50 would elaborate on his comments in a Hot 97 interview, saying that the song was weak.
He made some comments about, I think, Puff's new joint.
Yeah,
It's a good record, man.
Which one?
I like it.
That Big Homie record?
Big Homie, yeah. I like when he does that type of talk. I like when he does that type of talk. That's the type of talk you want to hear from Puff.
I think it's weak.
Funk would ask 50 about his strained relationship with Diddy.
But Puff have a weird relationship.
I'm just saying, I don't want you. I'm not trying to force you to think what I think.
Sometimes you like it, sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. You gotta admit that to me. You can't. Sometimes. No?
Sometimes I like Puff.
Sometimes you like him, sometimes you don't.
What's not to like about him?
And this is where Flex would actually ask 50 about Mace in that iconic moment where 50 says Mace wasn't worth $2 million with $2 million in his pocket. But anyway, beyond these comments, what would happen next would see the beef between Diddy and 50 kick off in the boardroom once again in a big way. As clearly, having seen Diddy make millions of dollars from his Ciroc partnership, 50 would decide to enter the vodka market himself with a bang in 2014, partnering with drinks maker Suntory to promote a new vodka called Effin. Ironically, 50 making a mockery of Diddy would be the basis of one of the very first marketing campaigns for Effin, as 50 would go viral with an image of Diddy getting a dance from a very large woman, accompanied by the caption, "Damn, 50's right, I'm effing up right now." Diddy would reply in a post of his own, seemingly unfazed, stating, "If it ain't making me money, making me better, or making me happy, I ain't making time for it." 50, however, would continue using Diddy to promote his new product, with another Instagram post saying, "Nothing like effing by the fire, new drink, no more puffy juice, lol." The vodka wars were now in full effect, and it was effing gang spinning the block on the Ciroc boys on a regular basis, and one of 50's regularly used quips would refer to Ciroc as puffy juice. This is something he would use to make fun of Young Thug in April 2015, when Thug tweeted that he smoked blunts so big they looked like, with 50 saying, "What the F? He on that puffy juice, lol, hashtag effing vodka." He would also take aim at Diddy and French Montana, posting an image of them laying suspiciously close to each other, with a caption reading, "What in the effing vodka is going on in this picture, man? Something's not quite right." In May, 50 would post a clip to Facebook of his car surrounded by fans, telling followers that no one ever shows out like this for Diddy.
They don't never do this for no motherfucking puffy. You kidding me? No more puffy.
In June 2015, at the BET Awards, Diddy would fall on stage while performing, which 50 came out to say was the highlight of the whole event.
BET. The highlight of the whole goddamn show was Puffy busting his
them all.
From here, Diddy and 50 would continue to go back and forth. Apparently, the following month in July, Diddy made a post for 50 Cent's birthday showing a picture of them together with the caption saying, "Happy birthday," and that he'd sent 50 a lifetime supply of Ciroc. In August, Diddy is on the Breakfast Club and has his people take down 50 Cent's bottle of effing vodka that was in the background, which 50 had apparently sent for Diddy personally.
In the game, there's not enough people taking any chances. Everything is...
What the hell are you doing, man?
What is going on?
There's always grown men crawling behind other grown men.
Just to give some backstory.
What is going on, yo?
No. 50 Cent sent a case of effing up here for Diddy. And he signed it with a card.
Give him a card.
And now we have revolt people crawling on the ground.
Curtis Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, be clear, Diddy did send 50 a whole lifetime supply of Ciroc for his birthday as well. So you guys have a hopefully friendly back and forth.
Yeah. You know,
just so people know what's going on.
Thank you.
Why the vodka wars look like rap battles now? Why did that shit?
Nah, hey, yo, what it is, it's enough for everybody. So I welcome him into the game. You know, it's good to see somebody of my color out there, represented in this field. And hopefully he appreciates me opening up the doors for him continuously.
That's basically what he's saying, but he would not be as successful as Ciroc. I just need him to know that.
Nah, but I sent him a lifetime supply of Ciroc, and so I appreciate his gesture.
He only sent you one case. That's kind of an insult. A lifetime supply?
I mean, when you first starting out in these little companies, they don't really have a lot of supply, So that's, with Homeboys Vodka, sometimes maybe you can only send a case. It's been great to see more people of color get into the game and to be able to get the different endorsements and the support. And so, I welcome anybody that's coming in, hustling, trying to, get their thing off. So, I wish 50 the best of luck.
Then, like a nasty rash you picked up from a freak off, the beef would spread quickly to Diddy's inner circle, as French Montana would find himself on the front lines of the vodka wars too. In late August, French would be seen giving an underhanded shout out to F and Vodka whilst at an event that they were sponsoring.
Man's here, he came by. Shout out to F and Vodka. That's kind of watered down, but I love it.
50 would react to this clip laughing and saying that French is down with G-Unit, not Diddy, and hinting that Diddy hadn't cut French a check for his loyalty to Ciroc. 50 would then make a post saying that French had an in-store when nobody showed up and that Diddy must have set him up.
Yo, check this shit out. So yesterday, French Montana had an in-store up in the Bronx. 10 people showed up. He said, "F this, let me have a drink." Puffy trying to make me go against 50. He set me up.
The following day, French Montana backtracked and would be on stage dissing F and Vodka.
I guess 50 don't know me and Max B run CT, right? We don't f*** with that F and Vodka over here, you hear me?
A couple days after that, French would post a follow-up video on social media dumping bottles of F and Vodka in the trash.
That's how I feel about your boy. What the f*** is this?
50 would then respond to this, saying Diddy must have called French after he said that he liked effing and forced him to trash the bottles.
Yo, I just seen a clip of French Montana throwing bottles of effing in the garbage. Puffy called him like, "You said you like this. You want your record out, don't you? You dummy. You playing. They putting us out of business. You better do something."
50 even posted it with a caption comparing French's post to Diddy sending his runners to fetch cheesecake for him like they did on Making the Band, as well as another post saying that Diddy must have touched French Montana's butt like James Cruz for him to back Diddy so hard. And 50 would tweet around this time that he had spoken to Diddy, who told him that he was getting too old to keep up with the beef. Not long after that, 50 would post saying that Puffy must have been mad to find out that F and Vodka was the main event at the latest sales meeting for Suntory Drinks. Over the next year, there would be a few sparse jabs between 50 and Diddy's camps. 50 would tweet seemingly indicating that Diddy was pissed when he found out about 50's effing deal and hinted that perhaps Diddy had offered him a Ciroc deal. In February 2016, when news circulated after an ex-LAPD detective claimed that Diddy had paid Keefe D $1 million for the hit on Tupac, 50 reposted it with a caption saying, "So Puffy with it, huh? You gotta watch these punks. Scary ass dudes will try you. Hashtag no Puffy juice. He killed your favorite rapper." And 50 would follow up with a skit on his Instagram where he recorded himself someone on the phone that Diddy killed Tupac.
I told you you can't trust these. Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
In April 2016, 50 appeared on Shade 45 with the Heavy Hitters, where he once again discussed how much better effing was than Ciroc and that he has a bigger vision than Diddy.
Man, talk to me about the liquor, bro.
Man, we're doing it like, it's premium vodka. It's made from wheat. Ciroc is made from grapes. So, it's a
it's more sugar content, and it, wine tested. You smell it, the grapes. So they gotta figure out how to. It's a little more syrupy. They gotta get rid of the grape taste to bring peach. Or to bring those other things that are there. So you see.
You're taking the same blueprint that he did with Ciroc Boys or the Ciroc flavor.
That's cool. He only did it in New York, so he had the right drink, just the wrong vision.
50 would go on to explain that his plan with Effin was to hurt Diddy before going on to say that Diddy is someone who stands next to the guy, but 50 really is the guy.
So you and Puff go at it neck and neck all the time with your brands?
It's gonna hurt him. Look, he's a guy who stands next to the guy. He's not the guy. I am the guy. Right? He's next to Biggie, he's next to Greg Mack, he's next to Mix, he's next to The Locks, next to Camp. When have you seen him by himself and was excited?
50 would repeat his earlier assertions that Diddy isn't an artist, just a music mogul who cuts checks to real artists.
He's not an artist. He's a party promoter, a business person, producer, a lot of other things, but not an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Then when Diddy announced he was retiring from rap to pursue acting full-time, 50 joked that he thought Diddy retired 10 years ago. However, there would be some small responses, even if not from Diddy himself. That same month, May 2016, a drunken French Montana throws more effing in the trash when he's at the Breakfast Club.
Don't throw this down. Don't throw this down.
Please don't throw it.
Don't throw it down.
Please. Not in here.
No, not that.
Yo, I hate
Get him a trash can.
This the motherfucker.
Yeah, you doing dirty all you want.
Look at this guy, man. He look over. This guy looking over. I'm not even gonna do that, man. I wanna hit against the wall. Who drank this Four Loko? Who drank this Four Loko? This Thunderbird? This motherfucker? No, hold on, leave this right there. It's all good. Look, and I drink Ciroc while I drink Henny when it's time in, you know what I'm saying? But who drank this Four Loko? I'm so heated right now. Like, I'm heated. But guess what? This shit don't even want to close. Like, once you open it, don't close. Look, it's leaking all over my hand. Look, it's leaking. Look, all over. Jesus Christ.
Funnily enough, it would seem that French's drunken loyalty would pay dividends in the end, as the following year French would be granted his own flavor of puffy juice, when Ciroc launched the French vanilla flavor in partnership with French Montana himself. But the month after French threw the effing in the trash again, 50 would clap back, not just at Diddy, but at the whole lineup of bad boy artists who had seemingly been screwed over by Diddy. He posted Mace with a caption reading, "After you dance with the devil, you need God in your life. Look at what Puff did to Mace. Hashtag no puffy juice." And he went on to post unflattering pics of Loon and Shine with the caption, "After dancing with the devil, hashtag no puffy juice." He even posted a picture of Diddy and Biggie saying that Biggie died after dancing with the devil too. Then in July 2016, in an interview with the Mad Hatter Morning Show at the Dub Car Show, 50 dropped more shade on Diddy, labeling him a sucker.
How's Puffy promoting power?
Puffy's a sucker, man. Wait a minute.
50 would go on to explain that Diddy is doing bad things behind the scenes that people don't even know about, bringing up James Cruz once again.
Anybody else doing this?
That's what he agitates. James Cruz, people around him, be doing stuff, and they doing it in his behalf. So they can act like, he can act like he has no idea what's going on, but it's coming from him.
Later that month, 50 was on stage in Scottsdale, Arizona, and threw shade at Diddy again, calling him out for having a lack of hit records.
Play the last Puffy single. The last Puffy single of his last album. Do anybody in here know what the last Puffy single was? The DJ don't know.
Puffy was so scared to confront this nigga, like he would. Blue Kid Cudi co-op, so scared to confront this nigga, he decided, I'm a traffic this nigga baby mama. That's disgusting. He a coward. Didn't want to confront 50, so he tried to traffic the nigga baby mama.
Nobody in the whole nightclub know what the last Puffy single was?
Look it up on Google.
The month after that, in August, at VMAs, Sprite ruiner Future would call out Diddy, labeling him an old for coming backstage with no Ciroc. 50 Cent would naturally capitalize on this, deciding to comment, doing an impression of Future, dissing Diddy, and busting out laughing.
We got motherfuckers.
50 was, I think, this
Ciroc?
nigga Puffy.
Yeah, we got all this nigga, and y'all want Diddy to come to my room. He ain't even run no Ciroc. I don't want that whole around me. He old.
It was another bitter summer between 50 and Diddy, but almost like a bear going into a hater hibernation. Into the winter, 50 would appear to leave Diddy alone for the time being, and the no puffy juice posts would interestingly slow down during this time, with only a few hilarious jabs sent by 50, like one image of Diddy looking like a woman, with the caption, "Puff like, I don't care what you say, 50, I'm so sick of you messing with me, no matter what." And ultimately, the vodka wars would seemingly come to a stalemate too in July 2017, when it was reported that 50 Cent had actually sold his stake in Effin' Vodka for a rumored $60 million, after DJ Envy aired the news on the Rumor Report segment on The Breakfast Club.
Now, 50 Cent apparently no longer is working with Effin' Vodka. In case you haven't noticed, he hasn't been posting his hashtags Effin' Vodka or Effin' Mob. Now, it turns out, I guess he actually agreed to sell his minority stake and his contract as a lead spokesman. So
yeah, he sold the stake in the company about a month ago, month and a half ago.
They was having all those vodka wars, and he wasn't even a majority owner.
Well, I mean, you still make a lot of money as a minority owner.
But Puff is a majority owner of Ciroc.
That's a lie.
I wouldn't have been going, but he was like, they was slandering each
That's
other.
a lie. You see how he just told that lie? Puff fool these people talk about he was a majority owner of Ciroc. That's a lie. He just was a spokesman. And now Puff was trying to sue them people. Jay-Z wanted to sue them people. Man, the people ain't giving them niggas no majority ownership in no fucking liquor company. They don't need these boys.
The hard body
They were
over
finessing
vodka.
black
Well, 50 was slandering him.
Well, 50 seen over $60 million from his buyout, allegedly. I'll just say that.
Okay.
So, I
Still
mean,
a minority owner.
Minority owner could be 40%. That's still a large stake of a company that was already created.
This was seemingly confirmed in an Instagram post where 50 seemed to allude to a $60 million check. However, Effin' parent company Suntory would deny rumors of the partnership ending, and 50 would make a post seemingly suggesting that he was still working with the brand, but he had just gotten a bag out of the deal. Clearly, 50 was still in the drinks game, as soon after the news broke, in August 2017, 50 would appear on the Alcoholic Interruption Fest, The Drink Champs, and during the interview, he still seemed to be banging Effin' hard, and proceeded to once again call out Diddy's vodka brand Ciroc for not actually being vodka, unlike his new Effin' Vodka.
It's not even vodka.
Oh,
it's grapes.
Let's go there.
It says made.
We ready.
With
we
vodka.
ready. We ready. We know where you're going.
You know what I'm saying?
We ready.
It's gonna be more sugar in it because this is made from wheat. It's from Holland, a lot less sugar. It's a lot smoother than the Ciroc brand. And then
What about it,
50? Better than you.
right.
So you go smarter.
Right.
He would retell the story of Diddy offering to take him shopping.
He asked me, could he take me shopping? And it fucked me up because I'm looking like, what the fuck is this? Just like, I want to take you shopping. I got a bankroll out this motherfucker. I want to take you shopping. Why? Because when you walk around looking so motherfucking good, I want to feel like, God damn it, that motherfucker with me. That's all I want to do. But when you tell me you want to take me shopping, what the fuck is the matter with this?
And in this interview, 50 went hard at Diddy, going on to say that Diddy is a fruit pop who likes to take compromising pictures with other rappers.
See these little weird pictures and shit like that out there, sitting out there for no reason. You don't see accident pictures when they like kissing it. Like that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like
even more strange was 50 claiming in his Drink Champs interview that Diddy had actually hooked up with Chris Lighty's wife Veronica, suggesting that they were all into some weird stuff behind closed doors.
both Stout and Puff.
Okay, yes, they
The Veronica, the girl that Chris was married.
Whoa, this is awkward. We did not know that.
So I'm sitting there like, what the fuck we got going on?
Oh man,
goddamn! Like my own little.
50 would even go as far as to say that later you're going to find out that everything I'm saying is real.
Later you're gonna find out a little shit that I be saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Funnily enough, 50 was right, and in the next few years, the world would finally wake up to the truth about the diddler and his extracurricular activities, which 50 Cent had been trying to warn the world about for a good 20 years at this point. And when revenge finally landed, it would taste as sweet as a cold glass of Effin' vodka. Once the Ciroc versus Effin' Vodka wars got put on ice, 50 Cent still would go out of his way to beef with and diss Diddy. One of the biggest and most disrespectful run-ins in this beef would be when 50 appeared on The Breakfast Club at the start of 2018, where Charlemagne would ask him why he always calls Diddy gay, reading a recent post that 50 made going at Diddy, where 50 posted from the hospital saying that he was recovering from pettiness and that his followers will soon be gay and happy, dissing Diddy to say that you're now under the leadership of Puff Daddy and that you need to report to the nearest rainbow, with 50 denying that he actually called Diddy gay in the post.
When you continuously call Puff gay, Does that
No.
affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said.
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January.
That's why
50 would go on to say that he was only making fun of Diddy's recent interview on the Drink Champs, where Diddy made sus comments about Fabulous not coming to his parties.
The Drink Champs.
Yes.
And he go when he's doing, he says things he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous, and he goes, "Yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like we need to party." What is he talking about? What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff. When people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable.
Diddy would respond to that in his own interview on The Breakfast Club in the following weeks, confirming that he did indeed offer 50 to go shopping, sideswiping at him, saying the only reason he did this is because he looked like he needed new clothes.
I asked 50 about that. He said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy.
Diddy went on to say that he has no beef with 50, implying that it's 50 who's actually obsessed with him.
I don't have no beef with Fifth. He loves me. I mean, y'all can't see it.
No, we can't see
Y'all can't
it,
see that he loves me.
But see,
you really, hold on, you really think that's hate? When you really break it down, you've been out here a long time. You know he loves me.
I don't think he likes it.
You know he loves me.
I don't think he likes
it. Okay.
It feels like something must have happened though, like that we just don't know about behind the scenes.
He loves me. Sometimes people that feel like they don't like you and they act like that, they really love you. I mean, it's something about me that has him on me all the time, and I'm not going nowhere.
Diddy would then say that he doesn't understand what 50's problem is, and saying that they're not cut from the same cloth.
No, I don't.
the same.
No, we are not.
Okay,
we are not the same.
But I mean,
we are
as
not
far as
cut
the way
from the
you
same
guys
cloth.
work
Diddy would also say something that I'm not sure anybody believed, that he doesn't think of any other men, and calling 50 a gnat.
I don't even think of no other man. Besides, if I'm thinking about another man, I'm thinking about uplifting. I'm not thinking about all that. All them gnats, they can't really touch me. At the end of the day, y'all see and y'all know what it is.
Diddy ends the segment saying that he doesn't take 50 seriously and knows that 50 has a sense of humor and that the jabs are all part of his personality.
When he does that, it's like funny to me. I don't really take it personal. I know he has a different sense of humor and he's just not in my life. We don't have to never cross paths, and I will never say nothing negative about him. Because that's just not me.
A few days after this, a clip of Diddy appearing on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen circulates, where Diddy addresses his relationship with 50 Cent and tells him that he believes 50 loves him and that he only disses him because he's insecure.
50 Cent has thrown a few insults your way recently. Called you a fruit boot biscuit, among other things. Have you talked to him about this, and why do you think he's throwing insults at you?
He loves me.
He loves you?
He loves me.
And so it's out of love?
I mean, or some insecurities.
Yeah.
It's things that people have to deal with, but I'm me and I'm here.
However, Diddy would go on to claim that his relationship with 50 was good at that point, indicating that at this point, the beef had truly cooled down.
Are you two good?
Oh, yeah, I don't take it seriously. It's nothing like that. Yeah. It's not really a big deal to me. It doesn't affect my life.
Yes.
Diddy may well have been spitting facts, as what happened next was an unexpected tragedy that saw things go in a completely different direction. Later in 2018, when Diddy's ex Kim Porter passed away, 50 Cent would seemingly set the beef aside for a moment, making a heartfelt tribute on Twitter saying, "R.I.P. to Kim Porter. I send my condolences to her friends and family. She was loved and will be missed dearly. I know Puff is hit right now. He loved her for real. Soulmate type stuff. Chin up, Puff. Positive vibes only." This would seemingly lead 50 Cent to leave Diddy alone for a while. In fact, for a period of time, 50 would actually even show support for Diddy, posting that he agreed with Diddy's comments about Comcast being racist amid a discrimination lawsuit against the company. In May 2020, when Southwest Tea from BMF was released, 50 made a post saying that Puffy owes him money and that 50's ready to collect on his behalf. Now, you all know that 50 Cent's very good at collecting debts. Go watch that video about that if you want to know. But anyway, this seemingly worked, as T would later post that he'd been contacted by Diddy on a positive vibe and that they had handled business, with 50 seemingly taking responsibility for the money landing. Ultimately, things will be getting worse and worse for Diddy, and naturally, Fiddy would be rubbing his hands together like Birdman, ready to gloat and twist the knife. Interestingly, the beef would be reignited in 2021 when it emerged that Diddy was actually dating the mother of one of 50's children, Daphne Joy. On April 2021, 50 reacted to his baby mother Daphne Joy dating Diddy, saying that they fight over business, not girls, and that if he likes her, he doesn't give a...
Diddy thought this was cute. Diddy thought this was his checkmate. Nah, nigga, this was one of your worst moves you ever made. And that's what it go to show you he a real sucker. Instead of confronting 50 for ruining his brand, ruining his name, running him down, he traffics the man, baby mama, and now he getting charged with that. That's crazy. You showed
Given F.
50 did.
Funnily enough, the ever petty 50 Cent would actually end up having his own business connection to Diddy's children. In the summer of 2019, 50 would post that he turned up in Miami for his birthday with Diddy's son Justin, posting a video of them at the party and a caption saying, "Man, Puffy got some cool ass kids. Yeah, Justin, alright man, I don't F with dude's kids. That was Yayo slapping Jimmy's son," a reference to the incident where 50 caught rival executive and drug kingpin Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son with Tony Yayo and Lodi Mack, where Henchman's son was actually slapped, an incident that resulted in another attempt on 50's life and the murder of Lodi Mack, which saw Jimmy Henchman convicted and hit with 2 life sentences. It would seem that perhaps after Justin partied with 50, his father Diddy told him not to associate with the ops, with 50 making another post the following month saying if Puffy doesn't let his sons Prince and Justin come out to party with him again, then 50 would be taking Ciroc off the party menu. But 50 would do even more to try and connect with Diddy's children as years went by. 2 years later, he would end up giving Diddy's adopted son Quincy a role in his 2021 TV series Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, something that he would discuss with reference to Diddy on Twitter, saying that he saw his acting tapes and said he's so good that he's going to stop fighting with Puffy. But 50 would follow up with more jokes about Diddy's relationship with his baby's mother in September 2021, posting a picture of his son with Daphne Sire and a caption reading, "Oh, that's your mommy over there with Puffy? LOL. Remember what I told you the other day? These be crazy." Shake my head. This seemingly didn't discourage Daphne from sipping that Puffy juice too, and she would clap back in a comment on the post saying that she never bothers 50 and wants to be left alone. Then, in November 2022, she'd publicly wished Diddy a happy birthday, posting a pic of them together and calling him her favorite person. Now, 50 Cent seemed genuinely unbothered about the situation, and in an interview a few years later, he would claim that he hadn't kissed Daphne on the mouth for 10 years, so somebody got to do it.
You know, City Girls up like a month.
Did you do that just to fuck with Diddy?
No. That was ahead of the thing with Daphne or whatever like that. But y'all, man, I ain't kissed in the mouth in 10 years, man. Somebody got to kiss him.
However, it would seem that 50 had the last laugh in that situation, but it wouldn't be for a few years until Diddy's downfall truly begun. And while this isn't a video about Diddy's downfall, ultimately it would be one thing after another for the marred mogul. And every time something bad landed for Diddy, Fiddy was waiting in the wings ready to poke fun at it. On October 2023, after the arrest of one of Tupac's alleged killers, Keefe D, reports would circulate that Diddy might have been the person who arranged the murder with an alleged $1 million bounty. Reacting to the news with glee, 50 Cent would post the last picture of Tupac with a caption taking aim at Diddy, saying, "Damn, so Pac got lined up by Brother Love, LOL, time to lawyer up. This might get sticky." A day later, 50 Cent is on stage and makes even more comments, joking that he doesn't go to Diddy's parties because he doesn't want to get a hug from behind.
That's why I don't be going to the Puffy parties. Hug you from the front and the back at the same time.
And he would go on to allude to Diddy being involved in the death of Tupac.
Oh wait, maybe I said that about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
Later, when Jada Pinkett Smith was going viral, 50 would do a now iconic post, editing her into the final picture of Tupac, and saying that Jada was in New York looking for Diddy so she could get back for Pac. It was almost as if 50 knew something big was on the way with Diddy, as only around a month after these skirmishes about the Tupac case, it would be in November 2023 that Diddy's downfall would truly begin to unfold, as Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie, whom 50 Cent had mentioned having compromising pictures of in the past, would drop a bombshell lawsuit outlining the horrendous behavior that Diddy had subjected her to for years. Now, this isn't a video about those allegations, and I won't be breaking them down here, but she essentially exposed the dark side of Diddy, accusing him of physical and sexual violence, as well as detailing the alleged freak-offs that she was forced to participate in. Now, Diddy denied the allegations at first, but in a telling change of fortunes, just one day after Cassie's lawsuit was filed, Diddy ended up settling with her, paying out a rumored 8-figure sum to avoid being exposed even further. In March 2024, footage emerged of a brutal physical assault that Diddy had carried out on Cassie years before, meaning that his post defending himself was pretty much a lie for the whole world to see. It was undeniable that Diddy not only lied about his innocence, but really was the violent monster that people accused him of being. We saw him on the tape. 50 would go on to make jokes about this, reposting the image of the beatdown to his Instagram account, along with a caption saying, "Now I'm sure Puffy didn't do it. He is innocent. This proves nothing." This is what his lawyers are going to say. God help us all. Now the world knew about Diddy's awful treatment of Cassie, there would be no denying it. In March 2024, Diddy would take to social media to issue an apology, which is now infamous. 50 Cent wasted no time and immediately sprung into his petty ways to provide commentary, posting an image of Diddy's apology with a caption saying, "This is not going to work. Who is advising him right now? Shake my head. Bad." And it didn't take long for 50 to jump into action and begin plans of financially capitalizing on his longest running ops downfall. After Diddy settled his lawsuit with Cassie, news broke that Diddy was stepping down as chairman of his media company Revolt, with 50 Cent seizing the opportunity and publicly offering Diddy to buy Revolt for the low, in a hilarious caption that read, "I'll buy that from you, Playboy, for the low, because you know Cadillac and AT&T gonna pull out. I'll give you a few dollars for it now. Sell it to me, then we can be friends. I'm serious. Call my phone." In December 2023, rumors would spread that 50 50 Cent was even developing a surviving R. Kelly-style documentary on Diddy's downfall, with 50 reposting the news saying that he is the best producer for the job and that he has got a lot of receipts ready. From here, he would begin a relentless trolling campaign comparing Diddy to R. Kelly and teasing the title of his upcoming docu-series as being Diddy Do It. And when federal government raided Diddy's home in March 2024, 50 took to social media to update the title of the documentary from Diddy Do It to Diddy Done, and saying that the feds don't sweep your homes with this much force unless they really have a case, with the implication being that Diddy had been secretly filming lurid encounters with his celebrity friends and the feds were sweeping for the tapes. 50 would comment on this theory in brutal fashion, with another post showing the paperwork on the news that Diddy had secret cameras in every room of his house and had apparently recorded every celebrity encounter at his freak-off parties and beyond, with 50 captioning the post saying, "SMH, this is going to be so good. What you want to bet I'm going to get these tapes? I'll pay top dollar for them. You been over there? I don't go to Puffy's parties." And he would go on to make a hilarious tweet that seemed to put Diddy's face on renowned S-trafficker Jeffrey Epstein's face, with a caption saying, "Boosie said where the F is his friends? They not saying nothing because they didn't know he was recording everything. LOL, wait till I get the tapes." Diddy's son King Combs would eventually even drop a diss song on 50 Cent called Pick a Side. Now, the song was as trash as the Combs family, and the track was essentially just Diddy's son throwing a tantrum because saying no Diddy had become viral, and I guess, you know, his dad's Diddy, that sucks, as well as dissing 50 directly, referencing his songs and saying it was the Combses who put New York City on the map, not 50 Cent. I mean, New York had actually been on the map a few hundred years before King Combs was even living inside of Diddy's nutsack. But anyway, 50 clapped back in a tweet, joking that he was scared of his life and that he had never mentioned Diddy's kids because Keefy D had killed Tupac. But the story was far from over, and Cassie wasn't the only woman in his orbit who would be dragged into legal trouble, as in April 2024, when even more legal paperwork circulated regarding Diddy's allegations in a $30 million lawsuit filed by former Diddy employee Lil Rod, the mother of 50 Cent's son Sire, Daphne Joy, was named in the indictment as being a sex worker employed by P. Diddy. More specifically, that she was paid a monthly stipend along with 2 other women to participate in the freak-offs. As articles circulated detailing the explosive allegations, 50 Cent would add fuel to the fire with a characteristically hilarious reaction, posting an image of himself smoking a cigar in the rain unbothered with a caption that read, "I didn't know you was a sex worker, you little sex worker, LOL. Yo, this stuff is like a movie." Now, Daphne herself would deny the allegation in a statement, claiming that the S-worker accusation was completely false and that she was planning to sue Lil Rod now. But 50 wasn't done here, and his next move would be a big one. According to TMZ, 50 Cent actually claimed to have made the decision to seek full custody of his son after Daphne was publicly labeled as a S-worker in Lil Rod's lawsuit. Allegedly, following this legal move, Daphne would fly off the handle and take to social media, clapping back at 50 with explosive allegations in an Instagram post where she accused him of having done some of the things that Diddy was accused of, as well as not spending time with his son. It would be the R-word allegation that escalated things to a serious new level, and 50 Cent wasn't about to let such a serious Diddy-level accusation slide. Firstly, 50 would respond in a statement circulated in The Hollywood Reporter denying the allegations against him and pointing out that he believed that she had falsely accused him of R in response to his move to seek custody of his son. According to later reporting by TMZ, following the statement, 50's lawyers contacted Daphne demanding a retraction of the allegations, which was met with a refusal and a request for millions of dollars and demands that 50 drop the custody case just in exchange for her taking down those posts, which 50 and his lawyers took to be an extortion attempt. Then, just over a month later, on May the 6th, 2024, 50 Cent would file a full defamation lawsuit against Daphne Joy for the statement she made online, which 50 Cent denied categorically. In response to this, Daphne would actually delete her statements against 50 from social media, with later being reported she'd fully dropped the accusation of R-word against 50. However, as 50 pointed out, the damage was already done.
The damage was already done, but now it's the damn, like this is real life though. Just because 50 big millionaire, this happened to all kind of people. Just because she under pressure, you raped me. That's crazy, nigga. But 50 got enough money to pressure. Say, oh really? You gonna go broke? You lied on me. I'm suing you. You never get. But she not getting no child support no more. That's drying up, and he gonna get full custody of his son.
Reports 50's lawsuit claimed that Daphne's defamatory post had garnered over 22,000 likes and had already caused significant damage to his business reputation. According to one article, 50 Cent is actually seeking over $1 million in damages against Daphne for her alleged defamatory statements. Now, right now, that's still an outstanding case, but it could well be that Daphne Joy has dug a hole for herself so deep there's no way of getting out, even with Diddy support. But setting aside the beef with Daphne, 50 Cent's decades-long beef with Diddy was finally coming to a conclusion, which was nothing but W's for 50 Cent. In May 2024, it was reported that Netflix had won a bidding war for 50 Cent's docuseries about Diddy Do It. Interestingly, the last piece of the puzzle was a final chapter in the Vodka Wars that truly brought the Ciroc era to an end. In June 2023, before the full allegations dropped, Diddy would accuse Ciroc owner Diageo of racism, claiming the company failed to make promised investments in his brands, essentially saying Diageo claimed that the distribution for Diddy's drinks brands were limited to urban areas. But then in January 2024, after the allegations, Diddy dropped his racism lawsuit against Ciroc parent company Diageo, with it being reported that Diddy withdrew all claims of racism and that Diageo and Diddy's business partnership was completely over, likely with Diddy's legal problems putting him in an awful position to negotiate or accuse others of wrongdoing. After Diddy's downfall, rumors would circulate that Ciroc was actually looking to replace Diddy with 50 Cent as their new brand ambassador. And
now imagine Diddy saying Ciroc it was racist. This clown saying they racist, they hate black people, they'll never treat black people right. And you've been running around here promoting them all this time.
And rumors circulated that a $100 million deal was on the table for 50 Cent to potentially step into Diddy's shoes as the main spokesman for Ciroc. However, this would seemingly turn out to be just a rumor, with 50 Cent issuing a denial, explaining why he would never work with Ciroc, saying, "I own my brands. I would be an ambassador for Ciroc. I haven't seen anybody drinking that stuff lately. It's over. LOL. 50 made an interesting post on the topic in June 2024, discussing how racism played a role in the quality of the deals that Diddy got with Diageo for Ciroc and Suntory with Effin. But regardless of how Diddy was treated, the Ciroc era was truly over, and Diddy ultimately wound up with no ownership in the brand that he had made famous. Surely 50 would have been ecstatic at how things played out, and from here, he continued to poke at Diddy any opportunity that he got. On the 11th of June, 50 turned up to an apparent roast of Diddy, where the proceeds of the event were set to go to his victims, with 50 making a post saying that he thought Diddy might come and that he was ready with the shooters, by which he means videographers, of course. The most recent shade dropped by 50 came on July the 13th, as 50 Cent had recently announced his new G-Unit production studios in Shreveport, and he would joke that Diddy would be joining them in Shreveport, before laughing and saying that if Diddy comes to the party, people will be waking up with sore butts.
You're not gonna believe this, but I just got a call and Puffy's confirmed for Shreveport. It's lit. Nah.
Okay, go around. Everybody be scared to drink. Coffee cups.
Wake up, your butt sore.
In the end, 50 Cent had the last laugh. And, well, there were a lot of laughs. And when Diddy Do It finally drops on Netflix, I have no doubt that 50 will be laughing all the way to the bank. When it comes to the chess game of the rap industry, there's few people you could point to as being as cold and calculated as 50 Cent. This wound up being a wild story and just proved once and for all that 50 Cent is pretty much unkillable, both physically and spiritually. It's looking like Diddy's downfall is potentially only just the beginning. Perhaps he will truly face justice for his alleged role in the Tupac murder, as well as his other allegations relating to his relationships with both women and men. Or perhaps he's rich and connected enough to find a way out of ever facing the music. But one thing's for sure, no matter what happens, 50 Cent will be there with a smile on his face.
Go figure. Follow me.